Hello, welcome to CloudNationTV.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going
This
on,
is the
gamers?
crew. We got myself, we got Ray, we got Vet, and boy, oh boy, we got Maker of Khaos in here. What's up,
Maker
man?
of Khaos.
Oh, pretty good.
Awesome. Maker of Khaos, who's part of the Cloudy crew, doing the green room and amazing content creator, knowledgeable guy. So
He's always in everybody's chat. He's been very supportive to me. He's been very supportive to a lot of people. And I was just telling Doctor, I said, Doctor, he reminds me of you. He's so intelligent. So really
That
really
chaos is just an act.
yeah. It's chaos when he's trying to explain stuff to people and they just don't understand.
they don't have the mind for it.
They don't have the mind. Exactly.
So glad to have you with us, man. So what's going on with everyone here?
Gaming.
Go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. That way I can hop out real quick and switch devices. Just GeForce Now every day, all day. I'm waiting on the donations still. There was a thing that people have been pushing for, that GFN for Life tattoo, and I still haven't seen the money rolling in. So it ain't gonna happen until you guys start donating on the channel. But Far Cry 6, holy shit, that was an amazing game. I started it off, and I don't even need a gun. The machete is enough for me.
I was telling Doctor that.
I read the reviews. I've seen the good reviews, and I read the bad reviews. I read people's posts on Twitter that it doesn't work that well if you crank the settings on GFN. But my God, did I have a blast just sticking a machete in someone's neck and just shoving it to the other side. It brought back such good feelings. Not that I've ever done that, but that stuff's classified, so I can't really discuss any of it. But wow, and I know ray tracing is not enabled yet. It will come, but good God, I don't even need the ray tracing for that game to look beautiful. 60 frames per second at 1080p on ultra settings. Good God, does it look amazing?
By the way, the Far Cry 6 on GFN right now doesn't have ray tracing. It's a feature they're working on. It just wasn't possible to have it at this moment. There's some updates that are required.
We got it day and date. It was
they're
in
working
GFN.
on it. It's already beautiful.
It was available at midnight, folks. A brand new game. It's not an old game that came to the platform. It's brand new, and it released the same time it did everywhere else.
I'm playing it on Stadia. Now, it's not at 60 frames per second like my man here, but it is at 30 frames per second. And I have to say, I loved it. There was a guy coming down the ladder, and he slid and he cracked his nuts on top of my head. All right,
I watched that clip.
I thought you were about to say he's going to take a dump on your head.
No, I thought he was. It was funny. I love the Far Cry. I'm a huge Ubisoft.
Oh my
fan,
God, the gator was the best thing.
Oh my God, did you change his clothes? Did you change the gator's clothes?
I haven't gotten that far because I started it, and then I didn't even initially. It took me an hour to start the first mission because
I got my gator in army fatigue, y'all. He's got a little army vest with little pockets and stuff. Guapo,
that is outstanding.
I've been playing a lot of New World. I'm in love with New World. No problem. Do your thing, man.
Yep.
See you in a moment.
Got you. So, been playing a lot of New World, and of course, guys, the beta that's out right now. Been playing a lot of Battlefield 2042. Now, me personally, I love it, but I got to keep it real. There is a lot of damn bugs and glitches. So hopefully, they get a lot of feedback and they get this game fixed.
Talking about Battlefield there?
Yeah, Battlefield 2042. Yeah. What did I say? Battlefront? Oh my God,
Battlefield. No, it's just you talked about New World and Battlefield, but
I know I'm back and forth, dude.
Yeah, there's so much.
I go from a fantasy world to war. It's just weird, and then on a beautiful tropical island. So that's what I've been doing.
Awesome. What about you, Maker? Want to talk a bit? Present yourself and say what you've been up to and.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Maker of Chaos. I'm from the Stadia Vet Games crew. I write reviews and I sometimes stream some GFN or I think the entire Grime playthrough on Stadia was me as well on the Cloudy channel. But I love games. I've been in tech for a while, and I've ever since like high school, I've loved games and loved you know building computers and all the tech jazz. So obviously, I want to do stuff with gaming and play games. So as for like recently, what I've been doing with gaming, I've been playing New World. Obviously, I got a screenshot of my character in the background. Tons of that. Played the Battlefield beta a little bit. It is a buggy mess, and I hope they fix it before launch. I think they should probably delay it if they can't fix it.
I'd see it delayed at least until April. Saying the current conditions,
Where are we at
it needs
right
work.
now? Yeah,
or in October, April would be safer. Like it would give time to devs to work on it without being overworked.
Yeah,
that's got the dice. What is it? The dice engine in there, right? The dice.
Is it Dice or
Frostbite.
Frostbite.
Yeah.
Frostbite. Yeah.
Yeah, Frostbite.
They should pull a Halo, delay it a while, and get it fixed. I played the Halo beta, and there was less bugs in that than in Battlefield.
Actually,
and that tells you something.
The Halo beta, I tried like the last two ones. The one before that was still buggy, but it was running well, and the last one is fantastic.
Yeah, the most recent one ran like really smooth for me.
It runs like a game almost ready to hit retail.
Yeah. But trying to think of other games I've been playing. I played a little bit of Fist, Shadow of the
Can you tell me what that? Because I've heard a lot of stuff about Fist, and I know it's on GFN.
It's a Metroidvania. Well, you played it, so you can talk about it.
Yeah, it's a Metroidvania. You got your wall jumps, your double jumps. It's 3D assets, so all the character models and environments are in 3D, but you only move from left to right, so it is very Metroidvania.
And you have a robotic arm that you're upgrading, that you're getting software upgrades for it, so that you get new moves.
You get punches, and I recently unlocked there's like 2 little shock batons that you can parry attacks with, which I just unlocked on the game. I was playing it a little bit before here.
Wow.
And like it's a pretty interesting game. I think it's only on PlayStation and PC, and GFN has it.
So, yeah, it was a PlayStation exclusive until it just came out on the Epic Game Store, I think. And
it's
GFN is getting it. It's on Steam?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got the Steam key, and so that's how I was able to play.
Nice.
Yeah. I've also been playing a little bit of what's the game called?
Kena?
I've been playing a little bit of Kena, but Sable was the game. On the
Game Pass, right?
Yep. But that's about all the games I've been playing.
I played a little bit of Sable. That's the really kind of like the art styles, kind of like a little jet, a person on the little jet thing, and go over here, go over there, and meet. That's where I'm at right now. At the very beginning, I just got to cycle, and I got to go meet some lady.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all about kind of exploring the desert. You have your own little. I called it a speeder, because it's like a speeder from Star Wars, and just explore the desert. And it's very relaxing, really chill type game.
I haven't played it, but what I've seen reminds me of a Journey on PlayStation. Kind of. So the art style is somewhat similar, and like the fact that you're wandering the desert and all that.
It has a good soundtrack too.
You know what game surprised the hell out of me, and it popped on xCloud? It's Phoenix Point.
Oh yeah,
I want to try that.
Let me tell you something. That game is awesome. Awesome.
It's actually
Did-
made by the original team that made XCOM back in the 90s.
Okay.
So because there's XCOM right now, like Enemy Unknown or Enemy Within, that
Mhm.
is published by EA, I believe, done by Fireaxis.
no, it's 2K.
It's 2K, but it's Fireaxis, I think. It's the same team that's
Yes,
doing
it's Firaxis.
the new X-Men game or the Marvel game that's coming out soon. It's
Mhm.
the same team that's doing that
Midnight
game that did
Suns.
the new XCOM, but the original XCOM that was made in the 90s, they actually formed a studio and they did Phoenix Point.
Nice.
So
I actually know a guy who works at Firaxis, so
really,
he gave
Ni-
he gave me a free key for Civilization 6
Oh, I love that
back
game.
when that dropped.
God, I love that game.
that's awesome. So as for myself, I've been a New World junkie. Been
Who
playing a
hasn't?
lot of that game.
Yeah.
As much as I've been able to, I just made it to level 30, I think.
Wow.
So it's going well. Maker of Chaos is much higher level than I am. What are
Wait
you?
a minute.
Level
Wait a minute. Are
38?
you Spark? Are you Marauder? What are you?
I'm Marauder.
Marauders?
Oh my God.
We're Marauders.
The light. I am
we're
the
team
Spark.
green.
I don't want
light.
to talk about how much time I've
Team
put into
green,
that
man.
game.
It's a
Well,
fantastic
don't worry.
game.
It'll come to Luna at some point.
Yeah, Amazon made a success with this game. They made something
Knocked it out
amazing.
of the park, man.
We're
Well,
gonna
you
talk.
know, there are companies that know the potential of cloud gaming that don't get that know how to utilize the gaming industry for the long term and their studios and things of that nature. I'm not naming names or anything, but
We actually have some news to talk about a bit later about all that subject about where Amazon is going with this. We stumbled
Amazon.
on some very interesting stuff. Vet particularly found some stuff. But just to wrap up what I've been doing. So yeah, I did try the Battlefield 2042 beta on PC. And in my opinion, they need to delay it. There's some interesting stuff, but like if I compare to some other shooters I tried lately, like X Defiant and Halo, it's not on the same scale. Those are more arena shooters,
Mhm.
but they felt like even X Defiant, which is in the alpha, in my personal opinion, felt more satisfying to play, more impactful.
Wow.
I
Really?
feel like it's way too big of a battlefield.
I think
it's alpha.
all of them. I think
That
all
should-
of them need.
It should never have been called an open beta. That was an open alpha. When I played that was fucking garbage.
The 2042 you're talking about, or X Defiant?
No, 2042. That was complete garbage. Like I had
It
people
was-
screenshot, clip scenes that I was raging in, and send it to like Jen, who came in and was asking if I was trashing the game, and I was like, yes, I am. This is not a beta. This was alpha. That was. I'm sorry. If I
not ready.
I can walk through tanks. My vehicle literally sank into the pavement like there was quicksand.
Did you guys drive the truck? Did you drive the pickup truck that they had?
No, everybody killed me. And then when I get injured, what the hell's the point in being on a team with 3 other people and nobody comes to revive you?
Oh, I got tons of videos. Help me, somebody help me.
I was like, you know what? No one's going to help me. So I just started shooting people. If I saw them on the ground asking for help, I shot them. Didn't do anything. But then I had the best scene ever was when there was somebody coming down in a parachute, but there was nobody there. It's just the parachute floating in the air with no person, and you could see it moving around. And I was just like, what kind of garbage is this?
Now I played the PS5 version, and the PS5 version I didn't see that many bugs, but I also did the PC on my Shadow, and I've got an invisible gun, y'all. I was like, where the hell is my gun? I'm holding it, but there's no gun.
Maybe it was, and I heard a lot of people say that they didn't have the issues I did. I said, well, 1, you're not vet, so that automatically disqualifies you from even commenting. And 2, maybe it was the PC version. I don't know. I don't have the consoles because I could care less about that. but maybe the PC version is bugged beyond belief and should not see the light of day. It needs to get that. What I played should have gotten locked away with the.
I gotta send a shout out. I gotta send a shout out. One, excuse me. Happy birthday, Squid. And then two, GeForce has this thing. Like when I got on my PC, it says your drivers are outdated, and they had this thing called the GeForce Experience. So I'm like, what the hell is this thing? Why haven't you guys never told me about it?
Have you never used that?
No, I used it yesterday. I just did it yesterday.
It gives you the optimal settings for your.
You got the GFN guys, and nobody fucking never told. Excuse my language. Nobody never told me. I found out yesterday.
You don't even need recording software for that. You can literally just use that and record straight through that app and set it up. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's an amazing software.
It is so smooth. It is so awesome. I was like, oh my God. So yeah. I started using it yesterday. So
well, I will say, since we were chatting about EA stuff, I did see also NHL 22 just is available to download and try out.
Woo!
If you want to use that 10 hours, if you have EA Play, it's 10 hours free. If you have EA Play Pro, I don't think there's a time limit. Just
shut up. It ain't nobody prompt me, Rodella. Ain't nobody prompt me, okay? All right, yeah, they did.
Anyway, just to close my wrap up of the week, then we're gonna go through the chat. So yeah, other than that, I've played Far Cry 6 today on GFN. Looked fantastic. I streamed it. I'm gonna give Facebook Gaming another try. I streamed it on there today, and
TikTok.
I've been saying it.
I did TikTok too the first time.
Oh Jesus!
I'm not dancing videos or singing, or Vet. Hey guys, it's me, Vet. I got my video coming on next. Make sure you watch me now.
Shut your ass up. I don't even. But you see how old my shit is. I stopped using it because I don't know. I'm not hip with the younger generation and that shit. I stick with the Twitter and I don't even use Instagram for my own stuff anymore. Just tweet that shit out and I'm good to go.
Anyway, I'm just gonna switch that so I hide my face and not anyone else.
Well, the guest is always on top, right?
What's going on, man? Hey, y'all.
Hey, Holtz.
Good to see you, Holtz. Thanks for hanging out. And we got Derek Graham, aka Penguin. So I'm going to eat tacos and watch you guys do tacos. Tacos sounds good. And we got members of this podcast, apparently.
What are they doing? Aren't they supposed to be on the show?
For the chaos, a Maker of Chaos. Oh, yeah. And we got Kevin. What's up, guys? Good to see you, Kevin. Thank you very much for coming. And we got Rouster. I'm witness to it. Lots of GFN on that Cloud Gaming.
See, every time I watch Vet, he is always in there with Vet in the chat. Always.
If he's not in my chat, he's in somebody else's, usually Meg or somebody else. I see him everywhere. He's he is all over the place.
That's awesome. Really dedicated. So, and Holtz, I started the game, jumped off the rooftops and turned it off because it was too late for me to focus.
That's Battlefield.
He's F it. I'm done. I'm like, let's just jump off.
You jump off. You got your make sure you got your parachute and you turn it on. So you can float in the air.
I started Far Cry 6. As soon as I got to the main area, it sends you on your first mission. I died immediately because I accidentally fell off a cliff, and I was like,
I just got sniped, ran over by a tank. The damn
I tried to take out a tank with a handgun.
I did have one complaint about Battlefield. I don't, when it's like the swapping the attachments thing when you hit left bumper.
Yeah.
Why did they make it the buttons? Why don't they make it the D-pad? Like the D-pad makes the most sense in my opinion.
Yeah, they didn't do that. You know what? I was thinking the same thing.
Weird. Polaris, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Polaris sucks. Fellow Canadian, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Another shout out for me. You guys are too kind.
Already seen this one. Man, I want to play New World, but that old GTX 970 just ain't cutting it. You can play at min
I'm playing it
settings,
on
I think, with
Shadow.
that.
You could run it, but
Yeah,
it'd
but
be lower settings for sure. I upgraded from a 970 a couple years back, so
I got a 2070, so.
I don't want to say what I got.
so he's a fellow Canadian. We don't officially have Shadow. I actually tried it out, and I'm stopping my subscription because I'm having some glitches with it. Too far from the servers. I think it's causing some issues.
My
So
my computer, I got it in 2018. So I got Shadow, and Shadows works good for me. But I think, trying to hint to the wife, Ray's been a good boy this year. My friend Vet got a new PC.
You should just be like his wife let him spend $1,500. I mean,
Ray,
she only knows it was 12, so we didn't.
Ray's been a 3060 Ti kind of good husband.
Man, okay, all right.
Just go all out, man. Just get that 3080.
I'm in love with this like Razer laptop, gaming lap. It's like ultra thin.
I mean,
yeah.
I got a Dell, and I'm enjoying it. So, and
how's it going, fellas? Rodell is in the chat. What's up, man?
Oh,
Thanks for coming.
Guys, make sure you check out his content. I've been lurking in his streams. He's
I'm usually there and watching some of his stuff early on. He streams too late for me, though. He streams too late. No, he's been actually doing other stuff, though. I've been watching a lot of. He's been all over the place. I tried to get everybody in Luna to chime in and vote to get him to play Amazon Luna, and it went Stadia because Stadia won the poll, but when I went to watch it and he went live, there was no all them people that voted were not there. I was like, "What? See, you knew that was going to happen."
I voted Luna too, and yeah, I was there too.
I was very upset. You know what I voted for?
Right? Did you get that? Can I move on to the next message?
Yeah, we can move on.
Whatever. Honestly, yeah, they've been prompting me. I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah, see, I tell people all the time, update. Always get your updates.
Yeah, it's very important.
Scared of updates.
If you're playing new game, whatever.
Get your updates unless it's from Microsoft. Then research first. Because you don't want your printers to disappear or your graphics card to melt.
Don't even get me started about printers.
Printer, camera. I had printer, camera, and something else. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on?
Hey, fingers crossed it doesn't happen with Windows 11. Maybe they learned from Windows 10, but this is Microsoft, so.
You want to talk about a mess up for my work? You know how I work for the Air Force? Someone pushed an update to Windows, and it considered all printer drivers as malware, and no one could print through the entire Air Force network.
Wow.
The entire.
Wow.
Somebody was getting a pay raise for that one.
Wow. No. I got real quick. I managed storage facilities. In this property, we had about 5,000 units, and everybody has their own codes that they have to punch in. Well, somebody updated the gate software, except they erased every damn code. So nobody could get into their units or get in on the property, and that was a nightmare. So since we were chatting about mess ups and stuff, I did see a Navy warship apparently made headlines because they somebody accidentally streamed what the hell was it, Age of Empires from their Facebook account. And for a while, they said the USS Kidd inadvertently provided one of the most boring video game streams of all time. Somebody accidentally messed up and live streamed a video game from a Navy warship's Facebook account. I was just like, that's bravo, man. See, that's why you don't see those issues with the Army. We never had shit like that. It's always the Air Force or the Navy, always messing shit up.
DrSpaceman, I think you're muted.
Yeah.
I was saying because we don't have to do the push-ups after. Careful.
I never did. I got out of it. I always found a way to get out of it.
For those who don't know, I'm actually in the Air Force. So, and Mr. Paul Bayham, what's up?
Oh,
Paul.
Good to see you. Try live cloud gaming. Nice.
Doesn't
So-
love cloud gaming.
I've been watching at the gym between sets. That's how you do it. And Polaris sucks. Thanks to Vet for being brave and showing ultra setting works on GFN for that game. Yeah, it actually works. I went to high just to be sure that it was super smooth, but ultra also worked. well.
Yeah.
nice.
Never
Yeah,
listen
the
to Twitter. Never listen to Twitter for things that don't work.
GFN rigs are pretty impressive. Love. Okay, yeah. Correcting. Is that for the smiley face? Anyway, moving on. Derrickson, I've done my research, and my friends at Pentagon informed me that our Vet Cloud Gaming was Section 8, like Corporal Klinger always wanted.
There's no way. My stuff's so classified that nobody, even the VA, can't figure out half the stuff that's going on with me.
Wow.
Polaris
Okay.
said I refunded my Far Cry 6 on Xbox. It looks better on my GFN. It looks amazing. It really runs well. And Dr. Spaceman lives somewhere nice in Canada. At least I'm in the bush. I don't remember where he lives, but I know he's in Canada. Runs it on low. Probably New Brunswick or someplace like that if it's in the bush. Holt said I just updated myself from a 970 about 2 months ago. Ooh, Holt was still rocking at 970.
Oh,
I
dude.
don't even know what.
He got a monitor too. I think he said. He said he's got a new monitor.
I don't know what I had prior to the gaming. Oh, I know I had whatever was in the iMac that I was using. The basic stuff I did at the time.
Oh, he's in Manitoba. Nice.
Oh, Manitoba. Ooh. Weird printing issues with the recent Windows 10 update at my job.
It's a thing of the past.
Oh.
That's what Microsoft's trying to say. Stop printing stuff.
Yeah, it might be a GP update. It messed it all up.
Yeah.
I love
And
Microsoft, man.
I had a crazy mess up today as well. I bought a Coke and thought it was Dr.
Oh,
Dr.
shit.
Pepper. Was expecting 23 flavors. Imagine my surprise, LOL. I almost puked.
You know what? Wow.
Oh,
Hate when that happens.
you need your doctor sometimes.
My wife is a huge Dr. Pepper fan.
Man, you
Oh,
can't
it's
mess with
delicious,
you
man.
can't mess with them 23 flavors.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, Manitoba. That's good, man. Good area. We have nothing but snow and trees. It's a good area, except for people who live there almost seem to always complain about it. Hey, Brian and Silva Shadow, what's up, man? Must have been the last gen Xbox. Loving Far Cry 6 on PS5. Was surprised they added some nice DualSense feature. Ooh.
You know what, Paul? Ooh, now
It's
I'm
like,
not.
damn it, Paul, now I gotta download something again.
I mean, I got one group
Oh.
saying try it on GFN, and then I say, hey, try it on the
I would-
PS5.
26 gig for a texture pack that all that's gonna do is pull. Do you know what the texture pack actually does?
It's
Yeah,
probably
I
an update to the 4K textures, most likely.
It
It fills
ties
up
in
the
with your
VRAM
it
and
fills up the VRAM, so it just slows shit down. It's not worth
it
it.
looks like it's running more.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
to me, to
some
be
games-
honest, well, Far
Some
Cry
games
6
will take
doesn't.
profit of it, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I get some games do, but Far Cry 6 to me doesn't need it. I didn't see a need for it. Hell, I can't imagine how the way it looked for me. I'm gonna be interesting to see what it's gonna look like with the ray trace, the RTX features when they kick in.
It's
Mhm.
gonna look beautiful. Ray
It's
tracing over that, it's gonna look amazing.
like we know that they're working on it. It's coming. I wouldn't say it's a bum. It's just something that they had to complete before they could activate it on GFN. But the ray tracing is confirmed to be coming to GFN.
Yeah.
They're currently working on it. So, but yeah, GFN is a beast of a system. Like I was testing out what was it? Watchdog Legion the other day, playing with the settings and the benchmark. It's got a lot of power. Like the
Legion is
VRAM
one of
and everything
those.
on it.
Yeah, Legion is one of those that they don't recommend. It claims that not to, like the DLSS and all of the ray tracing stuff. I cranked everything to the max, and it looked freaking beautiful and ran. I didn't have any delay, no input delay, no lag, nothing. And that was cranking everything, all of that stuff to the max. And that's usually what I do. There's very few times that I've had to drop the settings down on it.
So for anyone who was having that issue, when I tried to launch the game at first, it was asking me for a CD key or game key. You actually have to go in, like if you're playing with a Ubisoft Plus, you actually have to go in your Ubisoft Plus and activate the game so that then you can launch it on GFN. Just
Yeah, I had that issue. I actually had somebody comment after I finished the first stream, the first look of it, and they said they got that same issue. I said you just got to go into Ubisoft Connect, add it to. Basically, you're just adding it to your library, and then you go right back into GFN, and it loads up perfectly fine. You get no issues.
So, Doctor, have you seen Ubisoft's Frontline for Ghost Recon?
I saw an ad about it. It's very interesting. Ubisoft are trying to cover every angle, but now it's going to be their third battle royale.
Yeah.
How many battle royales do we need though?
I'm excited, man.
I mean, I am too, but I'm not going to play any of them. I am. I love you. I'll do first looks, but God bless it, I can't. I hate battle royales, anyways. They irritate me with a passion that like ignites the vet rage, and I can't do those. There's too many. You got Call of Duty. You're gonna have 3 from Ubisoft and all of these others. I can't. There's just too many.
Oh, go ahead, Maker.
I was just gonna say, I think Ubisoft's like just throwing these games out there just to try to get the next Warzone. They see the amount of money that a lot of these battle royales, Fortnite and Warzone, are making, and so that's why I think they've got this kind of scatter shot. I don't know how well this will work. I personally would rather them have like a dedicated, like, here's a battle royale, and then stick to it, update it, make sure it's something that the players want to play.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about, because Hyperscape was one of their battle royales that it did have a little bit of like a hit when it first came out. I remember like being like, oh, that looks cool, I should probably check it out, and then it just died like a month after. Like no one kept playing it.
I mean, one of them is a mobile one though, right? Is it one of the? Is it Ubisoft is doing No. I thought they were going to do a mobile.
And they're all coming out of Ubisoft Montreal, which I love their work. I'm a huge fan of Ubisoft Montreal. There's different studios, but Ubisoft Montreal, oh my God. Far Cry 6.
Yeah, it's actually a collaboration between Montreal and Toronto. Yeah, the ones before, like Far Cry 5 and before that, I think it was exclusively Toronto. But now Far Cry 6 is actually a collaboration between Toronto and Montreal. So yeah, they're pretty amazing studio.
I'm interested. They added another island too. I think they called the MOA for the Ghost Recon Breakpoint. There's another island.
Okay.
I'll try them. You know me. I always try. I try everything. So and I say that I do we have?
Yeah, I see you ran a gas station, so I know.
Yeah, I mean, I went from being a gas station owner to a drug dealer to a thief in 24 hours. So, but no, I will give them. I always give games the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes I can see what I see on a trailer and on paper looks like crap, and I'm probably not going to like. And then I play the game and I have way too much fun. So.
I don't understand.
Yeah, players suck. Yeah, I don't understand when people hate on Ubisoft. If you're a gamer, they always give you something at least 75% good with so many hours of content and
But
fun
you can't
content.
because you can't please everyone. That's the problem. It
Is
goes
it
with
as
game.
good as like the new God of War? Not really, but they crank out like 5 a year. That's the thing. Ubisoft makes a shit ton of content.
Yeah, they do.
They
Yeah.
don't do the big blockbuster games like exactly like God of War or The Last of
They don't,
Us,
they
or
don't need to though. They don't need
they've
to.
They're
got
massive. Wildlands. Oh my god, the whole Bolivia, and then the Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That was massive, huge.
like if we're comparing like God of War to any Ubisoft games, like let's compare it to Assassin's Creed. Compare one God of War title to one Assassin's Creed title. No brainer. God of War wins. But compare the whole series, the whole franchise. Assassin's Creed is they've made a lot of game.
It's a
They've
good
been
point, Rush.
following a story. Uh, Not only is it good, but it's actually teaching you. You learn a lot about history playing those games because they get historians collaborating to the games, telling like how people were living back then, what were the rights of the different cults and religions, all kind of stuff that you learn playing those games. It has a humongous value. So when you look at the whole picture, making Assassin's Creed, delivering that product, it is a humongous value for Ubisoft.
How much time do you
I'm
think goes into those games though too? Because you're not only are you making this game, but you're adding when you adding historical things, you have to that's a lot of research.
Yeah,
Time goes into researching because they may most of those games they may not all be completely 100% historically accurate, but there's
damn near close to
they're
it.
damn close, and that's a lot of time and effort that goes into making sure. I mean, and how many games are in the Assassin's Creed franchise, and each one of them that ties in with historical stuff. Whether it's Black Flag, it's the Rogue, the one that just came out, Assassin's Creed
The
3. I
American
mean,
Revolution.
yeah, the Revolution,
Yeah,
American Revolution.
Revolution.
There are a lot that tie in, and I mean, there's a lot of work that people don't realize when you're having to research to make sure that it's as accurate as possible, and then having to add that into the game. That's a long time to get stuff ready.
yeah.
You were
agree.
going to say, Maker?
I'm gonna be the counterpoint here. I'm not a huge fan of Ubisoft titles because
Mhm.
as like a lot of people say, to me a lot of it feels the same. A lot of it's very similar mechanics, and it's kind of like eating like the same type of meal every night. I don't want to do that. And like for example, Assassin's Creed. I used to love Assassin's Creed. I played 1, 2, 3, 4, and like I got Unity and then was just dropped off the map. I was like, it's Assassin's Creed, and I didn't play another Assassin's Creed until Valhalla, and which I really liked Valhalla, but I love Norse mythology, so that was a really good way to bring me back in. But I don't know how many of those titles I'd be able to play. And similarly with Far Cry, I loved 3, 4 felt samey, 5 felt samey, and I saw the reviews for 6, and it's like it's Far Cry, and I'm like, I'm probably not going to play it.
You love those machete stabbings, though, man.
Yeah,
And
that's
Yeah.
like I like applaud everybody who loves those games and
Mhm.
enjoys them. That's great. But I like a little variance in my gaming tastes. You know,
Sure.
I want to see. I would love to see some Assassin's Creed games or some Far Cry games where they spent a little extra time instead of having these like 1 to 2 year cycles, have like 3 to 4. And I would love to see what they come up with, what they can do with it, because I do feel like their studios do have a lot of potential.
That's the thing that they're working on Assassin's Creed Infinity, which will be a game as a service. While games as a service normally like feel like it's a hard one to tackle. Sometimes you'll get like cheaper content. Sometimes you'll actually get content that's been worked more on because they deliver something, then they can just work on a bit more, add to it and add to it. So I think we might actually see some pretty good quality content on it, depending on how it's going to turn out. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Immortal Phoenix Rising was different in many ways.
I agree.
It definitely took a lot of inspiration from Zelda Breath of the Wild. I noticed. It was very interesting. If I were to probably play a Ubisoft game right now, it would probably be that one for sure.
I didn't really. I mean, I like graphic. The appearance wise, that game was outstanding. I personally hated that game just because it had fucking. It wasn't the gameplay was great until I realized that there were fucking puzzles in it, and why every game has to have puzzles is beyond me. But that's what killed it
Puzzles
for
are
me.
fun.
No, they're not. They are not fun. I hated that. That's what as soon as I got to a point where I realized there were puzzles, I never touched the game again.
When I see a game with puzzles and I have trouble with them, what I do is I have a rule. If I spend 30 minutes on a puzzle, and if I can't get past it, I look that up like instantly.
I quit, and I've never touched that game since then. Just like Star Wars, that one, never touched it. Realized that was puzzles in it as well. Never played it again.
Dude, just the YouTube.
As Paul said, right there, Paul nailed it. Puzzles equal vet rage, which is not a winning combination.
Well, I would love. You know what? I dare you to do the computer build on GFN.
I'm planning on doing that PC building simulator. I've already seen people tagging me and asking me to do that, so that will probably happen this Sunday.
Because I seen there was a content creator, I think 6'4". He actually live streamed him putting he had all the parts of the computer and he put that sucker together.
The 3080 and all the good stuff.
I couldn't do it.
Like PC building simulator. That is a very good game. I've had it for a long. I had it on Steam forever. And they've got add-ons and all kinds of things you can add on for that. For esports, you can get the Razer stuff. They've got tons of add-ons for that game. It's a very in-depth game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm over here. I'm like, I've been building PCs for over 14 years.
I mean, I've been building PCs since the Windows 3.1 was a thing. So that's way long before.
Can we get Kim Jong out of here?
What?
Yep.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, I already know that I know who that is.
But yeah,
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
I know who that
What was
is.
it? I went to school for PCs and technically my degree's in networking, but
Good job.
Yeah, we know who that is.
I like puzzles, but I love to challenge myself on thought processes.
Brian, we got haters, man. They knew. I told you. I tweeted this out this morning. There was going to be chaos and controversy on our show tonight.
Yeah, you did say that.
And we haven't even gotten to talking about Stadia either.
Yeah,
Stadia. We've been holding that back, and we are people. It's probably because I went after puzzle fans. Damn, the puzzle fans already coming after me.
I'm sorry, I sent them after you.
God, don't start on Stadia. I warned him.
We'll take him, no problem. Japanese Assassin's Creed is going to be fun. That would be interesting. Where was I?
Was too stupid. We're talking about Ubisoft
for the game.
Yeah, we were until we got sidetracked.
I'm excited, different than Ghost. I'm actually interested in Battle Royale, but in the Ghost Recon universe.
I mean,
could be interesting.
I don't know.
More tactical.
I liked X Defiant until I started dying constantly. Then it brought back memories of Call of Duty. That's my problem.
That's because there was cheaters using an exploit in the game, and they actually corrected that at one point, and it got a whole lot better.
Extraction is what I can't wait to play that.
There is a good amount. I always give them the benefit of Call of Duty was a favorite of mine. I always liked those, but I liked the campaign. I tried online, but people take that shit way too seriously. And a lot of times the people that I was getting killed by were 12-year-olds. And then they had to trash talk, and I can't mouth off, so I just I would literally, half the time when I got to a point where a breaking point, I snapped the disc in half, and then I just played something else. I went right back to Madden.
God.
I
Oh my God.
Actually, if you play on
Did
the
you-
PlayStation, if you play on the PlayStation 5, there's a helper, like you press the PlayStation button, and it'll give you videos that show you how to resolve puzzles and what to do next and everything.
I just get an AI feature that if I just push a button, it just does it for me.
My God. Just so you know, that free eFootball, I downloaded that, and let me
You
tell
paid
you,
too much for it.
what's that?
Free was paying too much for it.
Man, I took that right off.
I saw. I mean, I will say one thing: reviews not always are not always accurate. The reviews on that game were 100% accurate.
Bro.
That game was. I'm understanding why it was free.
Yeah,
because if you charged for it, you would have been getting a refund almost immediately.
When the game was Pro Evolution Soccer. I mean, I was PES. I'm a huge fan. I'm like, what did you do? What did you do?
That Konami bad. You knew Paul was going to chime in with that eFootball.
Jedi Fallen Order, I actually enjoyed the puzzles in it. Some were really hard.
I've never played. Yeah, I agree with you, Paul.
I like the gameplay in Jedi Fallen Order, though.
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order is really good.
I mean, if Jedi Fallen Order, when it shows up on GFN, then I'll dive into it a second time around.
It's on XCloud.
Ubisoft had to make it said he hated them. I'm gonna skip some. They don't refer to it as Battle Royale though. Yeah. It does look like a Battle Royale when you look at the trailer. Massive tactics PvP warfare. That's the thing. It's more tactical. You get your unit. So I'd be interested in trying it. I'm not sure it'll be my type of game though. Can you use a PlayStation 5 controller on PlayStation Now for PC? Can't stand USB micro as I don't Bluetooth for cloud gaming, cloud native, or wired. I think it's still not on. It'll definitely be coming to the DualSense for PlayStation Now.
It's on Mac OS, but PlayStation Now is not.
So, it's gonna come. As anyone tried the Battlefield beta, keep hearing it's bad, not Konami bad though, but we talked about it.
I wouldn't say it's bad.
I won't say it's
it needs more love.
It's polished. It's like, you know what? Like, I'm a jeweler, and there's a rough diamond. It needs some serious polishing.
The console players that I've watched on console and read about, the reviews from consoles for Battlefield beta are good. It's the PC that needs work. That's the ones where I've seen the issues the most.
I don't know. I played on the Series X, and within like 10 seconds, I turned around. There's just graphical glitch everywhere.
Nah, PS5, I had no issues. It was amazing. But the PC, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It needs some love. So, you guys want to talk about some news?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's where we're bringing people in.
Yeah.
Just gonna share my screen so we can see. Okay, I understand.
Again.
Big news that has popped. So Xbox Cloud Gaming is now fully powered by a faster Xbox Series X hardware.
I'll find out tonight.
Just came out. Was that today? Yes, it is today.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I heard some people was mixed about it.
Some people were mixed.
Yeah, I seen some people make some comments on Twitter, but those are also some people that were on playing for another platform. So
I think it's good.
It's good.
It's good news.
It's an amazing news. So
that's amazing news.
Yeah,
I didn't expect it to happen before the end of the year, just because of the chip shortage. But it shows you that they've been slowly producing the Series X, not only for consumer purchase, but also for putting it into their data centers.
So yeah, they're talking about putting 4K streams on there now.
Hey, I know
It's only a
somebody
matter
that
of time.
I know somebody that was going to get an Xbox, and he said, "You know what? I'm not going to get it."
He's not gonna get it. Yeah.
Right here.
Getting a hold of Summoning Circle to allow xCloud purchase games. Would sell my Series X right now if that was the case. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna.
I think they're working on it. I think there's an issue with. I think they have to work out contracts with all the companies. I think they want to launch it and just be like, just purchase all these games and have a full list of titles to purchase through xCloud. And for that to happen, there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of talking with these companies, rights and stuff like that. I mean, it's the same reason why you're slowly seeing people or Game Pass games shifting over to cloud, because some of them they have to renegotiate rights. Like, hey, we got your game on Game Pass.
Totally makes sense.
I'm gonna show you something that might shift.
The Black Widow, she settled with Disney.
That's in the
cool
Microsoft.
too.
That's in the Xbox store, okay,
Yep.
on the web,
Yep.
and it says Play with Cloud Gaming. So to the store, I think it's only live in Canada at the moment. It's the only place in the world where it's they've put it live. They're rolling it out. It'll come to other places. They updated the store where you buy your games so that you can actually launch the games in the cloud directly from the purchase page if you have it on xCloud.
Yeah.
Why would they do that if you already have an app with all the xCloud games? Clearly, that's because they're preparing to allow people to purchase a game and launch it in the cloud.
and they already said that, though. They said that a while back. Their goal was once they got this going, the goal was to get to a point where they could allow people to purchase games.
That's a podcast that Phil Spencer was at in January with Major Nelson, where he mentioned that he specifically said his wording was we're looking at a model to do like Stadia, where you can buy your games and play them in the cloud.
Yep.
He mentioned Stadia. So he was looking at the Stadia model and try to apply that for xCloud.
Well, the huge thing is that they've I mean, when I saw this too, I read the whole article.
In the urban world,
I was surprised that they were ahead of schedule with it. But I mean, I was kind of, but not really, because this doesn't surprise me. Because I've been saying this from the get-go that when December, they had to get this all done because they're going to be launching it in December. They've already announced it's going to be available on everything in December, on all consoles, including, it's already accessible Android, Mac, Chromebooks, PC, all that stuff. And the next step they said was going to be, it's going to be on all consoles in December. So of course, I didn't expect it to be done that fast, but then I also read that they're adding an app and a smart TV app and a device, a USB device. So I'm like, there goes your need for a console at that point. I mean, for those that can't get access to it, or you have a shortage of a part or something, guess what? Now you can just download that smart app on your TV, and you have access. And then when you're able to buy the games, that's night and day. It's a done deal at that point.
Yep.
it's coming. I don't remember where I saw that, but apparently the app for the TVs and the stream box is coming very soon as well. You were going to say, Maker?
Yeah. It seems like Xbox is really pushing this stuff, and it's fast approaching. You can see the improvements that they're making with the service. I think the main thing that they have to get down is the consistency of the streaming part, which to me it's more to do with software and routing, making sure that they can do a fast, efficient stream to the user. I know for me, there's the compression and stuff causes it to, pixelate a lot for xCloud for me. And if they can knock that down, which to me, I believe that's mostly a software issue, which I'm sure they've got engineers working on a method to.
xCloud works great for me,
and it works good for me. I know it's got. I saw when DrSpaceman tried it initially and it ran like shit. I've seen, he said it's gotten better. My thing is, if you're gonna flip a switch and enable the cloud for all consoles everywhere, you're gonna have it working perfectly. It's gonna be at that point. I think by December, it's gonna be night and day difference. And I hate to say it, but their competition better step it up, or they're going to be left in the dust. And we know who the primary. Microsoft has already stated. Xbox has already said who their primary competition is, and that is of course Stadia. And hate to say it, guys. Well, Google, yes,
it's Google and Amazon.
It's Google and Amazon, but Amazon is still technically in a beta. But they're making strides as well. But the thing that I like with Xbox is when they update things or they do certain things, they make an announcement. There are others that don't say shit, and they they silence things, or they do a weekly blog and they don't even announce it. Still don't announce anything. Like I said, December rolls around. It's not going to be taught. Let's talk about what is Stadia. We will be saying what has Stadia done now, because it ain't going to be nothing compared to what Microsoft has done.
Hey, that's Duncan's show, man. That's Duncan's show.
Giving a shout out to Duncan because I'm just giving him his props for his December show, because we know what's going to happen. You're going to see everybody's. Well, it's just Microsoft. It's different than Stadia. No, it's not. That Stadia needs to realize they need to do something, because they're going to get left. I said this about PlayStation. PlayStation's has been making waves recently. I'm not going to sugarcoat any service. I knocked PlayStation. Did I not knock the shit out of PlayStation? Because people came. Well, you're just bashing PlayStation. No, I'm not. I'm criticizing the shit out of them. They need a wake up call, or they're going to get left behind. Guess what? They did. They woke up. They've started doing things. Nintendo. I don't give two shits about the Nintendo fanboys. They can come after me all they want. All I have to say is bring it. But even they have realized that cloud gaming has potential. They may not be getting it good. It may not work properly, but at least they have seen the potential there. Stadia hasn't changed. Yes, they're adding features, but those features were 2 years old. Shit they promised 2 years ago that they finally brought. For a search engine company to bring a search bar to their platform a year and a half ago late is ridiculous. I don't see when Microsoft rolls out xCloud in December, that's going to look spectacular, and Stadia's going to still look the same.
So you're not a fan of Stadia?
I'm a fan of Stadia, but they need to do something. It's not Stadia 2.0, because there is no Stadia 2.0. It's the fact that Google needs to treat it like a gaming industry and not just another one of their fucking products.
I 100% agree with that. I think Google's treating Stadia a lot more like a tech thing than a game thing, and I think there's a distinct difference in those two things. When you have tech, you want to talk in detail about these things that accentuate the features, and that's what Google's been doing. But if it's in gaming, what's the point of features if you don't have the games that people want to play? That's the one thing. That's what gamers want to do. There's a reason why people criticize Stadia for not having Fortnite, for not having Apex Legends, for not having Call of Duty, is because these are really big games that would help up the platform immensely to bring people say, hey, you don't have to download that new update to Apex Legends. Just load it up on your phone. You can play it right now. Stadia's tech is fantastic, and the fact that Google doesn't advertise it, they don't push for a lot more bigger
I actually
games.
talked yesterday during one of my streams. I think you were there, Maker. You heard me my rant about what happened. Not a rant. I went on about what happened with Stadia. It started glorious. I was totally in at the start because Google made sure when they started Stadia, Stadia would be separate from Google, because they themselves admitted, we've never done gaming before. We know nothing about the gaming industry. We don't know how to do the proper investment at the right place, how to manage it. So they made Stadia a separate entity, and they gave them the money they required to run it properly. But then Stadia came out, really a good run at the beginning, and then the pandemic happened with a lot of financial insecurity for countries, for companies, for individuals, for everyone. So Google found themselves in this situation. I totally understand it. They found themselves in a situation where they have to make sure their money goes to the right place. There is something that was not supposed to happen that happened. So they froze a lot of accounts, and they still allowed the investment that were already signed for, like bringing the games to the platform that they had the contracts for with third party studios, and they kept the 150 employees they had over at SGNE that was supposed to be 3,000 after a year. That's something that Jade Raymond confided in an interview before Stadia released. It was 150 employees to start up the studio, and it's going to ramp up within a year to 3,000 employees in Montreal in the SGNE studio. So that's what the announcements were when they got Stadia out. But when the pandemic happened, Google froze the hiring process for every division except for four. Don't ask me what they were, but I know there were four divisions that were still 100% financial freedom to do the investment because they were required for what was to come. But Stadia was one of them where they were at a critical point where they were looking at hiring people. They were about to do the hire, and they were told, stop, freeze that right there. Keep all projects to a minimum. Just keep on doing what you were doing with the personnel you had. And it brought them.
Hey, look here, Brian. I take offense to that. Okay, brother. All right, look
Okay.
here. I take offense to that, man.
That's great, but you're exactly right. They what it was is they got scared. They shut everything down, and now they've basically
They got scared for a good reason. But
at the time. But now we're moving forward, and Xbox is about to do what they do best and take back, the headlines.
But that's the thing. It's what happened at that moment is they took over the reins from what was supposed to be entirely a gaming division, a gaming company. It wasn't a division. It was a company on its own. When you were a Stadia employee, you were a Stadia employee. Yes, you still had the Google conditions, but you were a Stadia 100% employee that didn't answer to Google. But when the pandemic happened, they had to restructure everything. They stopped hiring, so they had to reconnect Stadia to Google. And from that point on, because we're still in a pandemic right now, there's still uncertainty. There's still waves coming back right now. They kept Stadia under their tutelage, and they're managing it as a tech company and not a video game company. So the reality of how it's managed at the moment doesn't work for Stadia. So that's why we're seeing everything that's happening. So
it's
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
gonna. But see, the only thing is, guys, and this is where I'm indifferent with you. I'm not gonna compare Stadia to Xbox. I just don't think that's fair because Xbox and PlayStation's been around for a long time. They've been in the business for a while. Stadia has not, and so, and I think the tech is amazing, but I will 100% agree that I think when the studio got closed and they promised to AAA games, I know a lot of, shout out to Chariot Man Gaming. I know he wanted that NBA 2K22. I know a lot of people want, so if you close the studio, where's all these, these AAA games and stuff? And I think that's what's frustrating for a lot of people in Stadia. And that's why a lot of people are like, what the hell? What's going on? I mean, you'd be lying to you if you're saying you don't want games. If you're a gamer and you're on a platform, so you want the games, And I know people are saying, well, they got Far Cry 6 and we got FIFA, but I got like 100, almost close to 170 games. I'm really invested into this platform. I really want this platform to do well. But I agree. I mean, you really need to what the hell? We need a connect, or we need something, a map
We
or
need
something to help us.
communication.
We need some communication. I will say that.
Communication and advertising. There's no
Exactly.
more Stadia
Exactly.
advertising.
But I'm not gonna sit here. I mean, for a company, I mean, they've only, guys, let's keep it real. They have not been out that long. Okay. And they're
But
still they're trying to get into other countries too.
yeah,
They're
but
trying.
I'll be honest. Like Xbox and GFN are getting into those countries, and Stadia still isn't. That's not a good sign to me. That sounds like Google isn't investing into Stadia as much as they should.
But how long does it take
Um,
GFN to port a game? They port games differently, don't they?
It takes them a minute.
Doesn't Stadia do certain features in their games that you will not see in a GFN game? So how is that, like,
Personally, I think if the problem I have with the features is not all the games can easily support the features. That's going to be something that they'll have to work through and make sure it works fine before they release the title with it.
right.
And I'll take, for example, Xbox. Xbox did a little developer showcase how they showed the touch feature for xCloud, how they made it really easy to map controls to the touch controls. So you could have native touch controls for games. And they said that they had preloaded templates that they would work with developers to provide those for games. And that's why you constantly see touch controls for games being pushed out each week or every 2 weeks, I believe, with Xbox.
I'm still impressed at the Minecraft dungeon touch controls.
The custom touch controls. It's super smart, and I think if Stadia had better ways to produce those features for games like Stream Connect, like I think Stream Connect's great. I think State Share's great, but how many of those games have those features? That's the problem I'm having.
That's why. And see, that's why there's so many people have different perspectives and views and stuff like that. Yeah, I
You can have a really good feature, but if you don't
Right.
find an easy way to for these developers to implement it, a lot of them won't unless you pay them to do it. And that's the problem, because it takes extra time to utilize this stuff. And that's why, like, I'm seeing how Xbox is trying to make it easier for developers to provide said features for them. I know GFN helps with the porting process for their titles, for their games. But I don't know to the extent of what Stadia does. Since Stadia is a completely new architecture,
Right.
it's a bit different, and it is more difficult. Like, no matter, they're making it easier, it's still harder to do than a lot of these other platforms. But
Right.
that doesn't change expansions. Expansions will mostly be probably localization, which localization is a lot easier than, say, programming it specifically. Once you make the program for said hardware or said architecture, it's a lot easier to implement than something like it's not as what am I saying? It's you need that architecture set up, the network infrastructure, and your server blades and stuff set up in a place first and foremost before you can start testing, run those things. And when you see these other companies already pushing out to these, well, Stadia, there's no news of it. It's there's silence on the front of Stadia, and it's been so for nearly a year now since Good Stuff.
Right.
Like, there's been like no marketing, and it feels like their budget has decreased because you're seeing titles that were on previously are not coming back. And it to me, it just seems like they had a plan, and now they're stuck in this plan because that's what the funds allowed. And I don't know what else to say about Stadia other than they need to turn it around. Google needs to invest money. Look at Amazon, look at Microsoft. They're spending tons of money on game studios and their tech and stuff like that. Like, there's
The baffling thing about Stadia is that the hardest part to master, that everyone else is struggling with, day one they had it, and it's the streaming tech. So Stadia, you have the streaming tech, which is taking the game from the data center and bring it to your home. That they aced. It works extremely well. But then you have in the data center, you have the blades running the game that they've done some upgrades on it, but so many games run under par compared to other systems that are out right now. The fact that we're still getting 30 frame per second, yes, I understand for a lot of people it's not a problem, 30 frame per second, but
Right.
for some others, we like to have
Right.
those 60
And
frame
that's
per
one thing
second.
I have to say, because when you get a lot of people and they say, well, that doesn't matter to me. Like me, it doesn't matter to me. But you, as a business and as a consumer, you have to think about everybody. And so
Mhm.
for other people, that does, 60 frames per second or 100, that matters to them. So yeah, no, like I said, man, I totally, I agree with the marketing. I definitely agree with, some transparency. We need to know what's you know
It's like Assassin's Creed Valhalla the other day that just
It-
got this 60 frame per second patch 1 year after the release, but there wasn't an upgrade in the hardware. It's just they actually just ended up releasing the patch to allow 60 FPS after 1 year, right at this on, and I think it got announced on the same day that it was revealed that Far Cry 6 would be running at 30 frame per second on Stadia.
yeah,
What
they're
is going
trying
on
to
there?
they're trying to like subsequent like, or they're trying to say like, oh, here's a good thing, but here's a bad thing for your platform. There's been a lot of trouble with developers and providing sufficient support for Stadia. I've noticed like a lot of these games don't have like the proper work put into the ports, and I think it comes down to cost. Like these companies, they don't want to spend extra time and effort because that's more money that they have to like pay people, or time is money, and
right,
allocating specific people to have to port this, since it's harder to port than say to GFN or to xCloud, it is more money. And so these companies, they want the money to replace the time that they're spending on your said platform. And if Google isn't willing to fork up cash for that, or like help support the developer, like that's kind of what SG&E was before. Remember how when like Destiny 2 came out, they talked about how SG&E employees helped them with the port of the game. But the problem is SG&E isn't there anymore, so they can't
They're
help them with
gone.
ports. So that's where there's a problem now with Stadia, because now these companies don't want to have to like spend this extra time and money to do it.
Yeah. And here, just Rouster said, it is a shame I was watching Meg's stream and she was trying Far Cry 6 on GFN right after playing it on Stadia. And I never heard her going so crazy how great it looked and played on GFN.
You got to be
So,
competitive. Like, and the fact that Stadia is getting these ports that are running the worst now, because like xCloud just upgraded their Series X server, so they're going to be running the next gen versions of games from now on. GFN runs games great. Luna runs games 60 frames per second as well.
we know
It
Stadia
baffles me.
can run power hungry games like Cyberpunk. We've seen it. But
uh,
Cyberpunk required a
Doom
lot of
Eternal,
optimization.
Doom
Yeah.
Eternal.
But
But
a lot of these
those
games were previously,
they were
what
made when SGNU was there and they were optimized with their help. They sent a bunch of Google employees, of Stadia employees, to those studios to assist those devs to optimize the game so that they could stack different blades together, make it work good. Those guys are not there anymore, and stacking those blades together is a very complicated task.
yeah.
You sorry, I kind of cut you there.
Yeah. Sorry, I did as well.
No.
Mhm. And they didn't tell anyone about the Stream Connect feature. Us people that already use it are the only ones that know via blog posts. Google put in an advertisement, put out a blog post to media. So yeah, I didn't hear about the Stream Connect until
Yo,
today.
what's going on,
It
Somebody
was
Porter?
mentioned
it wasn't announced until like the day prior to Far Cry's like release. That's
it.
which
Mhm.
is like a day or two before. And that sucks. Like, take for example, Little Nightmares 2. Little Nightmares 2 came to the platform as a pro title like 2 days before like
2
it
days
came
after
out.
it came out. So a bunch of
And
people bought it.
So a bunch of people already had it like pre-ordered, and no one's gonna cancel their pre-order just to get pro on Stadia and play it. Like, there's a lack of communication, and it feels like a disorganization with the Stadia team. Like, for example, take like a week or two ago, Rainbow Six Siege was having a special event with the Wild West. I played that with you, Ray.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that wasn't mentioned in the blog post at all, even though it got announced that same day of the blog post. And like, I feel like the Stadia team, not only like the internal team, but the community team I think they need to do a better job of announcing stuff to the platform. But I don't know how much information they get from Stadia is the problem. And then it comes down to like management, and it just feels like a mess, and they need to get that sorted, like 100%.
Here's another point. The Mafia 3 port at 1080p 30 frame per second, it's running, I'd say, at PS4 level from what I understand. I haven't tried it, but it's also something that I did bring out because I was on the CGX cast on Saturday, and part of the discussion we actually brought out a subject. It's a shadow drop that came to Stadia, and Ace kind of put out there like, "What's your opinion?" And he came to me first, like, "Okay, we're gonna go for some positives. Like, if you want positive, you might want to ask somebody else." Because my opinion on Stadia doing shadow drops, a few once in a while is good. It's a good thing. Bringing a shadow drop, it's a surprise. I remember
I was surprised.
Yeah, but I remember back when we got like a Shilu Saves Christmas, it was still among the first shadow drops that we got that was really a big surprise, and that was fun. It was Christmas gift. And it's a very basic game. Not a lot of people played it, but I had fun with it. Very simple
Right.
game. But Mafia 3 is a game that was requested by a lot of people. They kept asking for it. And
Yeah.
it should not, that game should not have been a shadow drop. At this point, shadow drop seems to be more like lack of advertising.
Right.
We haven't seen any advertising from Stadia in a while, other than blog posts and like very basic stuff. Like their media managers are amazing on Twitter. I won't go after them because they're doing a great job for what they're able to do. But advertising, that's an entirely different department. And I don't even think they have anyone in advertising anymore.
Right.
Because we don't see much advertising coming from Stadia.
The last big advertisement push was Good Stuff event. Like, that
Yeah.
was the biggest push in a while. And look how that turned out.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything, or are we still talking Stadia?
Hey, we are still talking Stadia.
What did you go in the back and rage and slam your Stadia controller against the wall?
No, they're sitting on a shelf for collector's pieces now.
But I like
in pieces.
Yeah. Are these bad ports the developers' fault or Stadia, or a little bit of both?
I think it's a bit of both. We mentioned earlier SG&E closing down. They were a very strong resource to assist third-party studios in bringing their game and optimizing them. Those people are not there anymore.
I think it's more so. I think it leans heavily onto Stadia at this point. It is a new platform, and so they don't have a sufficient user base, especially for big titles, to make it worth their while to port their game over. And so that
them to get them to want to port it over, though, and they.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Stadia doesn't
It's
want
the amount of work required versus the amount of people who will buy the game.
Yeah.
Because the Stadia player pool has been growing, but not that much, and a lot of people actually abandoned Stadia. So
I haven't. I haven't. You guys can watch me. I'm streaming Stadia. I haven't, but
you stream everything.
I'm not saying that to bash. I'm just saying.
But GFN. But in all fairness, though, GFN, is not porting. It's not porting. It's pretty much it's Steam. It's your game. It's your
Steam, it's
game.
Epic Games.
Yeah.
Epic Games do
Yeah.
take a little longer to get working, but in all reality, it's you're renting a gaming PC to have access to play your games in the cloud. It's PC gaming. Stadia, and I've said this from day one. Stadia's direct competition will always be Microsoft. Right now, I mean, I wouldn't count. You could throw PlayStation in there because all three of them are consoles. And I guess now that Nintendo's diving into cloud gaming, you can throw Nintendo in there. Amazon is more on par to me, has always been more on par with GFN, because if you can mess with graphics settings and changing that, your PC, it's PC. We know that Amazon stuff is all Windows app, games. So that, for the most part.
I was going to say, does that help, Brian? Because no, y'all got me contemplating getting Marvel Guardian of the Galaxy on GFN or Xbox L.
GFN.
I did want,
right here is the logo. So does that help?
One of these damn sites.
I did want to differentiate. I will say Luna's hardware is a lot closer to Stadia's than GFN's or xCloud's, which is interesting enough, because I believe Luna is more in tuned with like cloud based, but all of them have potential to really push cloud in a similar way that Stadia does. I think it's yes, it's easier to port stuff, but there are dedicated teams at GFN that do help with the porting process.
Yeah,
over to it, because they still have to test the games. They have to make sure they're working on their systems and stuff like that. There's a lot of like checks that they have to do before they just drop a game into GFN.
Yes,
it's not it's not just like they just load it up and like, oh, it's good to go.
Put the CD-ROM in the drive and load it up, and it's not that simple. No, I do agree. There's checks that you have to do to make sure things work. You don't want glitches and things like that to show up, and so they have to test things out before it shows up. But Paul said, unless Stadia or Google, it's not Stadia. Stadia doesn't do shit anymore. We know that. Google needs to pay up, or needs to let them act, give them back their, separate that company, separate Stadia from Google. It's not a tech device. It's not an application like all of their other products. It is, if you're trying to be in the gaming industry for the long run, in the long haul, and we've already, Amazon's new CEO has said that they are in it for the long haul. They know it's going to take time to get, when you're going into this right there,
I had that article ready for like 40 minutes at least.
You knew I was going to tie in that, because I know it sounds like I'm attacking Stadia, but I'm not. I'm criticizing because and I'm not criticizing Stadia. I want that known that I'm not criticizing Stadia itself. I'm criticizing Google, because Google is what's going to ruin this, what Stadia had going for them. And obviously Google needs to open their eyes, because even Amazon's new CEO, as this article shows, has said he knows that the gaming industry itself is going to be more profitable for them. I read this article. He has stated that, gone on record and stated that he knows that it will be more profitable for them making games than the Amazon Prime Video and Amazon Music are right now. It's going to surpass that.
Just to parable a bit that article, this particular article is very revealing about Amazon's intention towards gaming, not just cloud gaming, but gaming in general. So yeah, the new CEO of Amazon is that he actually was in charge of AWS. So he was the one handling the gaming division before, because the gaming division was under the umbrella of AWS, and he was handling the affairs for the Amazon games. And when Jeff Bezos left, he put him in place because he knew that he had the basically his hand in what is going to be, or has been, the most profitable parts of Amazon. AWS is humongous. It is gigantic. When compared to, like, if I'm not mistaken, they are bigger than Microsoft and Google together. So they have a huge part of the market. and they're around the world. So
It-
and one of their
I
sorry,
was
yeah?
just going to say they do have one of the largest cloud infrastructure as well. AWS is huge. I think it is the most popular. It's between, I think, like it and Azure are really up there.
And who
So-
better to lead Amazon into the future than the guy that was running AWS? I mean,
Yeah, he's been successful.
a lot,
He
you know,
made
when
something really
he
right.
got tapped for it, a lot of people are like, who the hell is this guy? But when you start to see what he's doing and where the picture is now, that was a genius move by Bezos.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man, they get New World and Lost Ark on the Luna, and you see how many people are playing it right now. Holy cow, that's gonna be.
I'm wondering that if that's why they delayed Lost Ark to next year, was that they're trying to port it over to Luna.
I don't think that's the reason. They scrapped a whole bunch of projects, and they want to make sure that the games they have are up and running properly. And I'm fairly sure, at least for until Luna is fully released, that games will first come to PC and then eventually will port over Luna. Even though
That's fair.
when they first announced Luna, they said that porting to Luna was extremely simple. If you had a game that was running on PC, your game was almost already ported to Luna because it's running a Windows build. There's still some work that goes into there, and I think they want to make sure that the game is stable on PC before they get it on their own cloud service. And also, they want to wait for Luna to be fully released so that people are not like trying to get into there as fast as possible because of a certain game. So they're going to take their time with that.
I think, well, the reason why I'm more pushing towards Lost Ark is because it is a free to play title. I think that's like, while New World has an entry fee, I had a feeling it wasn't going to drop into Luna just because they want that extra bang for their buck type deal.
Well, they got that bang, man. Because
yeah, they did.
I mean, but I paid what $39, $40, and I'm getting a beautiful MMO. Honestly, I feel like I'm cheating them. I think I should be paying more for this MMO. Man,
the game is super cheap, and you have no subscription to pay.
Well, and as Brian said, Luna, GFN, xCloud are definitely passing Stadia. GFN and xCloud have been long past Stadia. Luna is actually, the sad thing for Google is that Luna is now catching up to pass. And if Google doesn't watch it, Nintendo is going to come out of the woodwork.
How is Luna passing Stadia? They're not even.
I don't think Luna's passing Stadia.
Give them time. Give them time. When they start adding more countries, they'll that's all they need to do.
I think
it's going crazy. Not yet. Not Luna. They still until they're out. Until they're out.
I would say yes. I will give them time, but if Google doesn't get their act together with Stadia, Luna will, and hell, even Nintendo and PlayStation will. They're going to go from the top where they shouldn't have been from the get-go to the bottom of the barrel. And I said PlayStation was going to be at the bottom of the barrel if they didn't watch what they were doing when it comes to cloud gaming, and they've done plenty of work to start with that getting the PlayStation 5 games on PS Now.
He did an interview. I saw he did an interview today.
He did. Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan.
Yeah. I thought you said Google. Somebody with Stadia did. I was like, what? When was this? 2 years ago?
Yeah, I put the link in our DM. I put the link to that. I thought you guys.
I did want to mention something real quick. Like, I see a lot of this on Twitter where a lot of people say that, Luna, GFN, and xCloud they're not true cloud gaming and stuff like this. I mean, there was a recent quote from Satya Nadella from Microsoft that said that Xbox is now a core part of Xbox, and he iterated and said that it's much more central, built on core cloud technologies. That to me shows that they're going to be pushing cloud tech through xCloud as well as, so I don't understand this whole thing that, it's not real cloud technologies.
Well, I don't think I don't get it either. Didn't they say that Windows was going to be like Windows 11 was built Xbox and like the cloud gaming and all that stuff was going to be built into Windows 11,
into the app.
into the app and into Windows 11. You know, so I'm not really understanding it. The biggest thing that I take from all of these is they're saying, you know, the people on Twitter, these knuckleheads are the ones that are, well, you know, cloud gaming's never going to be a thing. You're a console fanboy. We know that. That's okay. You're allowed to say that. It's social media. We get it. But these big guys that work for Xbox and you know, maybe not Nintendo right now, but Sony and, you know, all of these players, they're making statements. They're coming out and talking about cloud gaming. And then you've got Google that doesn't say anything. Or, you know, they make a big, you know, the big thing was Far Cry 6 and it's got Stream Connect. Great. I personally love that feature about Stadia. Unfortunately, why wasn't it made? Why did it, you got it in a little excerpt, a two words or how many words was it? It was a damn sentence in their blog. That should have been a big old highlight. You should have promoted that. You literally didn't say shit on anywhere. It was in the blog. If you read the blog, then you find out it has Stream Connect. I'm sorry, but Google, that was a dumbass move on your part to not promote a prime feature, a key feature of Stadia for a brand new game that just released everywhere. You should have fucking advertised that for a whole week.
They need to be aggressive with advertising, buy advertising rights so that they can broadcast.
Isn't Google an advertising company? I forget. I'm so
they
confused.
do offer advertising, yes.
Just a vet.
Yeah.
He talks loud enough that it covers advertising.
I mean,
You know what, Vet? Hey, Vet, guess what? When you ever come out here to California, man, I'm going to personally drive you to the Google campus. It's a beautiful campus. Beautiful campus. And we'll go
they have a
find...
Stadia store there?
Yeah. Yeah, they got a Google store.
I bet you nobody buys the Stadia stuff anymore. Do they even advertise it?
I know where I want to take you. I want to take you to Facebook. I love the
Jesus.
Facebook tours. You're going to love the Facebook tours. All right. But anyway, no, I get what you're saying, man. And yeah, people say, what do you? Hey, you get the blog, you get them on Twitter. They do interact with the, you know, I mean, they. Hey guys, did you screenshot your? They had a flickering controller, and they said to screenshot your controller, which I did, and I got the black one, and I said, wow, I don't have this one, and then they actually retweeted me, and they said, hey, you should get it, Ray, you should get it. So they do interact, and that's the
not enough
social media, but outside, I would love to see a Google Stadia commercial.
What about
a Stadia commercial?
Even at like gaming events? I mean, like there's no presence at E3, no presence at Gamescom, no presence at the Video Game Awards.
I honestly think they see it as a tech and not gaming.
And that's the problem. That is the problem. And the bigger and going along with that, the bigger issue with that theory, because developers and games in the gaming industry can see that. And you've got things like, look, Orcs Must Die 3 made an announcement earlier that they have a new Cold as Ice DLC coming to Xbox One, the Series X and S, PS4, and Steam, but not to Stadia. What's going to happen when games and DLCs and things like that stop coming to Stadia? We saw the EA partnership with GFN. What happens if FIFA and NBA and Madden don't show up on the platform next year?
I don't know, man. I know people were talking about this back in 2019.
But
you know,
in 2019, we knew there were EA had 5 games promised to Stadia. That was it. That's all they said. 5 games. Stadia got their 5 games.
Right.
We don't know if there was another deal worked out, if there's a partnership, anything, except we won't, because Google doesn't want to announce anything.
There's no roadmap.
Battlefield wasn't announced for it. Dead Space wasn't announced for it. You know, it's very we know that there was a 5-game deal. The 5-game deal has just finished with FIFA. We have no idea what's coming with EA. Like, there's no announcements on all the other titles.
Yeah,
to
the
say.
GFN announcement came and they didn't say a deal. They announced a partnership.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
a
Wording
partnership with
is
GFN.
Yep, the key word there was partnership. And the difference was with Stadia, it was, well, Google has worked out a deal with EA to bring these 5 games over. That
I
means
think
you
they
paid,
paid.
yeah, you paid EA to port 5 of your games over. Now the deal is done, and that like I said, we've seen the reactions for NBA. I'm not a huge NBA fan. I just was never at 2K, and it was just the way the 2K was. I like the franchise mode or whatever the hell it's called in 2K. I wasn't big on the online stuff, but that's my own personal take. But 2K didn't show up, and I could see it's going to start a trend. And the longer Google doesn't say anything and keeps treating it as a piece of tech or hardware, developers are not going to want to bring their games to that. They're going to want to bring. They want to know that you are in the gaming industry for the long haul, and Google's not showing it right now. That's the problem.
That's the thing for EA. What is it to port a game to Stadia? It's a lot of work. They have to do a lot of optimization. What is it to bring their game to GFN? I talked to the guys. So did Vet. It's literally a check mark. Okay, we want our game on GFN, and it's done for the dev. They don't have any more to do
What's
than
up,
that.
Eddie? What's going on, Eddie?
So
Yeah,
GFN, they do the porting themselves, and it takes them a few hours.
Yeah, they have
Every
to make
player
sure
one,
everything's running
welcome.
properly. I mean, that's why you saw Kenna have a slight delay. Was from my understanding, there was the last minute patch that
Yeah,
they
there was a
wanted to
driver thing.
Yeah,
Well,
They
and
had to fix.
it's not that and I know if I was somebody new to the channel and I was watching this, I swear to God, everyone would think I'm hating on Stadia or I'm bashing it. And I get
it's
it.
tough love.
It is
We
because I
we
want
work
it
with what we have.
I want it to
I-
do better. Look. I've spent over $2,000 on games on that platform. I have Ubisoft Plus. I pay every month, and I still buy their games on Stadia when they go on sale because I've invested a ton of money into that. I was a founder the day they announced it. I signed up for it immediately in June. I beta tested it before it was even announced when it was the with
Project
Assassin's
Stream.
Creed. Yep, Project Stream. I want to see it do better because, as I've always stated from day one, if one fails, they all will fail. It's the domino effect. But the problem is the company that's running it now. It's not Stadia running Stadia. It's Google running Stadia, and that's what's going to hurt them in the end.
I think like to me, I love Stadia as the tech, but like heck, I've made money off Stadia. I'm not gonna lie. I won money from the Crata game. I played a ton of Crata. I played Orcs Must Die 3, Baldur's Gate 3. When they were dropping those like banger of games, I was like, man, yeah, this is great. They got some good games on here. I bought Avengers on there, and yeah, it just
amazing at the time when you could go from one device to the next and never lose your place. If my phone died, I could hop on the TV.
After Cyberpunk, it almost felt like it just dropped down drastically. Like there was this shift.
You get some Village. Here you go. You get
Village.
You get some FIFA.
Yeah, but FIFA came last year or earlier this year.
Crow.
Technically.
Okay. What's going on, Crow? I play Stadia. I like it. I want to see it do good. And I like Amazon Luna. Hey, Crow.
I think Luna. I think the barrier to entry is a little bit shorter for something like Luna.
3 times.
Sorry, Maker. Check for myself.
I just want to say, like, for stuff like Game Pass and Luna, there's a bit easier barrier to entry because if you just pay the subscription, you already have access to all the games that they offer. It's a lot easier than, let's say, someone who's been playing on PS4 and they have a ton of games on their PS4 and they want to get into Stadia. Yeah, you've got Pro to offer you about 30 titles of games. But like compare that to like Luna, where you automatically get like
Well, and that and
70.
you're
and
exactly right. And the problem is Google
Whoa,
needed
what is that again? Hold on, what was that?
did what Last of Us 2?
Last of Us 2 coming to
Last of Us 2 is now on PlayStation Now.
PlayStation
No.
or Fallout 76? Or are you talking Desperados? You know what? I actually I read there was a couple of articles I read came across recently that the PlayStation Plus people, the fans of PlayStation Plus, are pissed because PlayStation Now got better games. From what they're saying, they're pissed off now at the cloud people because they got the better
Oh
games.
my god, dude! I played
How
that
many
Hell. What was that? Hell Let Loose. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I mean, that two of the games. I mean, I know Fallout 76 had its issues, and I've heard there
You
was
gotta
some,
play this.
there's some controversial stuff with The Last of Us Part 2. But I mean, come on now, you got two pretty good games, at least two good. I don't know much about Desperado 3, but the other two, I mean, that's that's some pretty good games there.
Yeah, I'm just going through the recently added lineup.
That's a
So
lot.
those are all the latest titles. It's almost the best of PlayStation Now. They're starting to drop some serious games in there.
Just think when they add when you see a PlayStation 5 game pop up in there.
I still haven't tried. Oh yeah, that's coming. They're working on it.
Wow.
it's going to be so interesting once you start to see the shift into cloud with PlayStation even more.
So guess what game I have not played yet, guys?
Last of Us
Last of Us Part 2.
And, you know, and I think the biggest thing that I've seen, you know, we all see when it comes to people that talk about Stadia versus everybody else is the Game Pass. You know, they take away games and this and that. Well, so I mean, how long can you keep a game on your platform? You know, up there. That's how Game Pass has always been. Did we complain? Before Stadia? Did anybody complain about that? The way Game Pass was run? No. It was never an issue,
bro. We get Halo Infinite day and date, man.
But
Or
Game
the
Pass,
Horizon as well.
but the concept, the way that Game Pass does their thing is only an issue now because of Stadia. Before Stadia was not an issue. Why is it an issue now?
Paul.
Oh, you can get us banned.
More like, oh, got me a noose.
And
I'm not saying that one.
Last of Us 2 was ruined for me, but it's a mixed bag. Still a great offer to PS Now. Game Pass has games leave except first party games and games party studios they own.
But is there anything wrong with games leaving your platform to bring new stuff in? That's what I don't understand, why people always knock Game Pass's method. Why is it an issue now, but it wasn't 3 years ago? When Stadia wasn't around, it's since Stadia's been here is when it became an issue.
The Last of Us 2 though is there until January 3rd, so you have to hurry up and play it.
I did want to mention, like, I think for most gamers, I feel like they move so fast from one game to the next that I don't understand this complaint. Like, I understand, like, GTA 5 was a big loss because that was a game that you can play over time. It changes over time, similar to like a Warzone or like a live service game. So, but the thing is, like, new games come out, people want to play these new games. Like, a lot of those games that you're looking at are like brand new games. I know Lemnis Gate was brand new. I know Sable, brand new.
I heard Back 4 Blood's brand new.
Back 4 Blood's coming next week.
Next week, baby.
Is that coming to the cloud? Please tell me that's coming to the cloud. I'm just kidding.
Age of Empires is not at the moment.
I'm sure Microsoft will bring that one for me to play
at some point. But yeah, Back 4
Blood. Looking forward to playing.
I mean,
Back 4 Blood.
Like, how can you take accessing these games in the cloud? It blows my mind. Like, I can pay for a subscription, and we know that's the thing. The key word is subscription. Subscriptions are everywhere. That's just where where the companies are turning to. But for me to be able to play a game like Back 4 Blood in the cloud is going to be outstanding. I played MLB The Show 21 in the cloud, and that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Once they put the Series X server blades on, it was night and day difference, and I could not tell that I was in the cloud. I showed a friend of mine that had a PlayStation 4 and was getting ready to get a PS5, and I'm like, look, you can pay $15 a month and play this in the cloud. You can play it anywhere. You don't even have to have a console.
Just bringing back this on the screen, it's subscriptions, but we're about to get the purchases for xCloud. This is what's happening right now. Why they're updating the store? Definitely.
Why do you think they're adding xCloud to the consoles? To all consoles, not just the Series X and Series S. The Xbox One S and X. Yeah. All of those are going to have access to this for a reason. If you can buy new games and you still have if you can't afford the old system, Microsoft doesn't care. That's the thing. Microsoft does not care what console you have. Yes, I'm sure they would love for you to go and get rid of your Xbox One X and get a new system. But in all reality, they don't care. They want their stuff everywhere. Whether it's Windows products, it's PC products, or gaming products, they want them accessible everywhere. So they're going to find a way to do that.
So they have options and not take space on the console.
Exactly.
This is why they made the Series S with such a small drive, because it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Exactly.
You install your 1 or 2 games that you really want to have, like your Halo Infinite multiplayer, because you need those quick reflex in the game, and you cannot have the small delay that xCloud has on your Series S. It has enough room for it. But all your adventure games, like playing Dragon Quest or whatever on it, you're good in the cloud.
Could you imagine when PlayStation gets that ability too? If they follow Microsoft's path with that and allow you to purchase the games in the cloud?
Add up the subscriptions to a console. Add up the subscriptions.
Hold on, let me see. I got 15. I mean, 15
heck,
for you.
Well, no. Heck, look at what Xbox is doing with their subscription plan with the all access. I mean, where you pay it's $25 a month for the Series S and $35 a month for a Series X. You get the Series X and Game Pass Ultimate, which includes the cloud-based. So, I mean, it's all in one small cheap price.
Yeah.
The barrier to entry is so low right now for gaming, and it's due to cloud. It's due to like payment plans like that's a fantastic deal. Like, think if you're to like, I know I bought the all access plan for my Series X because I'm like, I bought the PS5 and it was $800 for a bundle, $800, and I was like, man, that is a lot.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't going to get one.
And then I paid $35, and I got a Series X like a week later. So, like, and granted, I am paying it off over time, but that $35 a month is a lot easier pill to swallow than eating that, $600 to $800.
Think about when they get the app, the TV app, or if it's whether it's a USB stick. Let's say they charge $30 for that. $30 for basically a console that you plug into your TV, or you download an app onto your TV and that's it. Boom! Now you got an Xbox.
No, I do you one better. I bet you they come out and they say, "All right, get your Xbox stick and a controller with a 6-month deal for $20 a month." And so
I'm pretty sure they'll sell a bundle where you buy 1 year of Game Pass, and you get your stream stick and your controller with it, with no extra cost for that 1 year game.
I can see it.
Wow.
And make it so that you have to pay it off over time. Like, you can have a payment plan where it's only like $20 a month. Or like
Microsoft is they're a technology company. They know, but they are also all in on Xbox. They have been for a while now. They know where the future lies, and they know how to stay successful. And obviously, they know damn well that cloud technology is what's going to help them achieve and stay on top.
It's something I've been repeating lately a lot. Xbox is having so much success, and so is GFN, because they work so well with PC gaming, and PC is the most popular gaming system at the moment. But it's not just that. Xbox goes and gives you the options, whatever you want. You want to play on your console? Go ahead. You want to play in the cloud? Go ahead. You want to play on your PC? Go ahead. And they keep upgrading their cloud. Now they got a Series X blades on it. So they're just bringing everything to such a level that you can do whatever you want. Xbox allows you to do it.
I'm putting
I'm
something in
hoping
giving you something right now.
in the private chat.
Yep.
You mentioned earlier you posted something in there. I didn't.
Yeah, it was
it.
actually in a group chat. I think that's why you haven't seen it. There you
Okay.
go. It's actually a video of the interview.
Oh yeah, the fireside chat.
I'm pretty sure you guys don't get the audio.
I definitely recommend following GameIndustry.biz. They provide a lot of gaming news.
Tom Warren's a pretty good one to follow on Twitter.
Tom Warren's good as well. And if you want NPD
Yeah,
reports,
man, look at that! I saw that in the UK. They have a trade deal where you trade in your Xbox One S and you can get FIFA 22 and a Series S for £149. I saw that.
Yeah,
I was like,
So,
damn.
That's pretty long. We're not going to watch the video here, but can actually put a link in the.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll put the link in there if anyone wants to
Well,
watch
and
that
you
later.
know, the other thing that I think a lot of these companies, and even Nintendo, is starting to see the benefit of cloud gaming. Not only is the storage. How much does it take to put a game on when you're developing new games and then you've got updates? Those games aren't small anymore. It ain't like you can get that on a CD-ROM or a Blu-ray disc anymore. These things are massive games.
I really hope Nintendo joins the club of no longer requiring the hardware to play their game, because I still want to play Super Smash on my computer without needing a Switch.
Look, I was excited, regardless of how it looks, and I have a Switch, but I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to buy these games, if you have to pay for it to get the Kingdom Hearts games, but I would still probably do it anyways just to see what it looks like, because everybody's going to have a different experience playing those games. Ray and I have great experience with Xbox cloud gaming. Somebody else can say, well, that's just crap because it doesn't work like that for me. But the same can be said about Nintendo. Just to be able to play Kingdom Hearts 3 in the cloud still amazes me.
I'm on all of them, guys. Just so you know, yeah. I'm on and Shadow.
That's why my wallet is very always empty. I open it up and there ain't nothing there but just sadness. It cries.
I'm on all but Shadow.
Wife's credit card.
I pay annual subscriptions. That's one thing I love about most of these. But then again, I did make the mistake before I actually read the EA partnership deal with GFN. I was like, I heard about it. I was like, shit, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I went and paid an annual subscription for EA Play Pro, and then someone said, well, that doesn't work. I was like, damn it. So I went and paid for an annual on the Steam version as well. So I spent $130.
I did something. I did something like that too. So I'm not going to laugh at you.
But to be fair, I don't mind it. Like if NHL is available to download, I guess what if it's
you can play it.
I can test it out, and I don't have to worry. And and I can stream it and all that. I knew that talking about Kingdom Hearts was going to get pissed. That's why I said that.
Kingdom Hearts is good. I love those Kingdom Hearts games.
Dude, I had a guy.
I played the shit out of those on the PlayStation 2 back in the day. I spent hours playing those games.
I seen a guy. He got a PlayStation 4 Kingdom Heart edition. He was just like at work. He's like, "Hey, I got this package coming. And so he opened it up, and it was this beautiful Kingdom Hearts logo. I'm actually on Stadia this month because Kid wanted to play some games from Stadia Pro, but I'm not playing any of it.
I don't know the last time I paid for it. I stopped as well, but I have it. Even when I had it, I was adding them and wasn't playing any of them half the time. A lot of times when I do play Stadia, it's because I jump in with other people. Usually I get suckered into playing this stupid-ass Siege game. No, Ray, that was way too up close and personal.
You don't like my breasts? But look,
Jesus.
you know,
I did see Tom Warren posted a thing. He said that his wallet
We're
has
sharing
been
controllers now. I got a Switch here too.
I got a Switch. It's on the TV.
I got another Xbox controller.
I got a Switch too, but
The only one I got around, the other
we
ones
go
I
get
put
that-
them all
we-
away.
You know what? I want to get one of those custom Xbox.
Oh yeah, those are really cool.
With my name,
Xbox
Cyborg on it.
Microsoft, the only thing I need to say negative about Microsoft is stop fucking putting out all these damn custom Xbox controllers. My wallet cannot afford all of that.
Bro, did you see there was one they were the 20th anniversary?
I know how many I want every time I see when I want it.
God.
My house would literally be nothing. I would have to have a shelf just for Xbox controllers. At the rate I'm going, I'm gonna have to go to the bank and get a loan. Sir, what do you need this loan for? I need it to get controllers. It's
Xbox has more controllers than
you need
games.
it to extend a house to store your controllers.
I need to take out a second mortgage on my house. Why? Just Xbox controllers. I mean, but I give Microsoft props. Some of those controllers look fantastic.
Oh man,
You get a walk-in controller closet.
Love my DualShock.
Hey, I've seen people with like full stands of just controllers. Like, it's crazy.
It used to be back in the day. It used to be consoles, this or the boxes for all the consoles and things they bought. Now it's just controllers. That's it.
The controller room.
Yeah.
I like my special editions of
Switch
games
OLED
more than controllers.
I got my Steam controller upstairs somewhere in a drawer.
Do you have the OnLive controller?
That one I don't.
Ray has it.
I got some old school.
Everybody has it.
I think I came across a while back. I came across an old school USB Logitech one from like way back in the day.
I got you. Look, I got the Microsoft Sidewinder.
Oh, I had that for a while when that came out. I bought that almost the day they released that. That was one of my favorites for the longest time.
The weirdest controller I got, it had holes on the grips and it shoots air into your hands to cool your hands, So when you're playing a lot and you need to like cool your hands out, it's weird.
You got the Nintendo glove?
No, I had a friend that had that glove, man. I was so jealous of him. But I had the Nintendo Max. Super Max. That was my controller.
Do we want to bash Stadia a bit more?
Sure, let's keep it up.
Go ahead.
Stop it. Stop it.
I mean, Far Cry. Did they give? Are they going to give? Do you think Far Cry 6 will get 60 frames per second? I mean, this year or next year?
Next year, probably.
1 year.
You guys are haters.
I did want to mention Sony today released their top downloads for September, and guess what was number 1 in the US and number 2 in UK or in the EU? NBA 2K22.
Hey man, as brothers, we gotta have our basketball, man.
But,
love our basketball.
Didn't the Switch even get it too? I think the Switch even.
Hey, shut up!
Everybody
Shut up,
got
man. Why you being a hater? Look,
literally
They
because
got a mobile version, it's not Stadia.
I tweeted that out. Even Apple Arcade got NBA 2K22.
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm actually registered. I have it pre-registered to get to download it.
Look. When NBA 21 comes on the screen, you just make a 2 and you just put it up against the screen. There you go, instantly. There you go, and you just pretend that.
I'm not gonna lie. That part of me was, when I saw after I watched Chariot Man Gaming's video, I was glad that it didn't come onto the platform because we wouldn't have had that video. I have never laughed so much in my life until I watched him go off on Stadia because they didn't have NBA 2K22. And then I ended up tagging him to let him know that it was on Apple Arcade and it was coming on the Switch. And Apple Arcade's only $5 a month, and then you get NBA 2K22. But you don't get it on Stadia, unfortunately. So that means I can play that. I can play NBA 2K22 on my MacBook or on an Apple TV.
They could be, you're talking shit. You're talking shit, but they could probably right now be porting it, and it would be here.
It'll be here
in 9 months.
Hey, shut up!
It'll take as long as to get that game. We'll probably be at NBA 2K24 by the time 2K22 shows up. Stop. But in all reality, at least they got Mafia 3 finally. It only took them how long to get that one to show up? What, almost a year?
Haters.
I'm
about next week's free Epic game. Ooh, Stubbs the Zombie. Oh my goodness. I remember that.
You play a zombie?
Yeah.
Hey, did y'all know that the Epic Game Store is built into the Windows 11 into Microsoft Store? You can download the Epic Game Store and Discord from Windows the new Microsoft Store in Windows 11.
Yep. They just
added the Epic Game Store. I think they're actually, from what I read, they're working on trying to get Steam to jump on board. So you just go to Windows 11, open up your Microsoft Store, type Epic Games, download that one right there. You can download Discord. I actually had Discord installed, but I uninstalled that and the Epic Game Store to have it downloaded through the Microsoft Store.
Interestingly enough, you can download mobile applications as well.
Certified.
I can't yet. I'm not trying to upgrade yet to try to get to the insider version, since I already have issues anyways with Windows 11. When streaming works, I'm not effing up anything else.
Don't get me started. Windows 11 has been having at least the past 2 updates that I've been doing. I'm in the dev build though, so I'm like the latest.
I did that with every version of Windows 10. Now I will say one good thing. The one thing I did notice with Windows 11 is when I was on Windows 10 and I used Streamlabs, my CPU usage was 20 to 30%, somewhere around that range. Windows 11, it's been between 10 and 15. It cut it in half with the CPU usage.
There's some really good stuff with 11, but there's also some issues I found, and
that's because it's Microsoft.
For me, the biggest problem I've had is sometimes I get an issue with NVIDIA, like something with my display drivers will randomly cut off if I'm playing games. And it's really frustrating, and I wish there was a new update for it that would fix it.
You're asking too much for Microsoft. You're asking way too much.
Meg, what's up?
Meg!
I always ask too much of Microsoft.
She's late. She was streaming Far Cry 6. I mean, she wasn't streaming it like I would have. I just went in, jam a machete into someone's neck and then move on to the next person. I did not realize in Far Cry 6 that you can, when you kill, it lets you do consecutive. If you have enough people around you, you can kill people with the machete multiple times and gain like points, or I don't know. It gives you an achievement if you can not kill so many people one right after the other. It's fantastic.
Greg, is there an experience like do you level up in that game? I don't remember.
You can. I don't remember.
You gather parts for upgrading your weapons.
Yeah, I don't pay attention too much. I was enjoying seeing blood splattering everywhere. I mean, it brought back great memories.
You can craft stuff and add it to your weapons. They got clothes that you can change your clothes.
There's a lot of improvements.
I remember in the other ones you can unlock skills with skill points. Is that still present?
Yeah, you level up in the game.
Okay, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
You just don't get 60 frames per second on some platforms.
It's not important, Vet. Okay.
I do think having the game is
just for this game. It's not important.
I do think having the game is more important than it running the best. I mean,
yes, I agree.
Just look at the Switch though. Like the Switch, a lot of their titles run like crap, like third party stuff. Even their first party, I think Zelda was only like 920p.
Wait, how do you do? How is that? How do you get an? How is that? How?
Why was it an accident? Stadia GFN comparison?
Did you load up Stadia and then accidentally load up GFN?
But sorry, Maker, you were saying?
Sorry.
Oh, I was saying like even the Stadia doesn't really run games a lot. I mean, the hardware that they use is basically a Wii U, just portable.
Oh, gross.
So yeah. So the Zelda was only its launch title was running like 920p 30 frames per second, which I mean that kind of sucks. But the thing is, they have exclusive titles that you can't play anywhere else, and they're very good titles. You know, they had in the first year they had Splatoon 2, Mario, and Zelda all on Switch.
Highlight Meg's comment. It goes with what our discussion has been tonight.
Stadia was literally not working for me, so I tried GFN to see if it was my internet or what.
Wow.
I was hoping you were going to stop.
Stadia is allowed.
Yeah, we did go on for a while about that.
We're not. This isn't CGX. We're not bashing.
They were. Not me. They.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a timeout.
Hey, it's tough love. It's tough love.
Wait. Her stream turned into a classic vet. What are you trying to say? My streams always have technical difficulties? That never happens. I'm just saying, we were not bad. We're critiquing a platform. This was a very nice and well thought out critique of Stadia. We were not bashing Stadia at all.
We're calling out.
It's just
Be right back. Need a drink.
It's not. Look, I love the CGX podcast. Guys. Those guys are.
I was on the last one. I'm
just, it's not. They're not for everyone, but what I love about them is they all have their own opinions, and that's why I watch them.
I like it because it's very tech. A lot of them are very tech heavy. They love comparison videos. They love seeing how things are different, and that's what I like about it. But then again, like I'm a tech guy, but I feel they're not yes men. They don't just say, "Yep, we love Stadia. We can't talk about anything else." But God damn it, Stadia's the best, and everybody else sucks. They don't go after you if you say one bad thing about Stadia. And then you are the worst show ever. You can't turn that shit off.
Everyone in CGX
lost 5 subscribers, man.
What?
Oh, because I said I started
Go
talking
wrong.
shit about Stadia. Apparently, that if something doesn't go wrong for you, well, I can't disagree with that statement. I guess I technically can't say.
I'm a tech guy, but I leave my tech at work. I only care if the game is fun. That is a very important point.
Hey,
Cowboy, LOL.
But the problem,
I like both.
I do too. But when you're gearing games, if you're coming at and I'm going right back on Stadia, but I'm sorry, we all watched Stadia when they made their big headlines back in 2019. They made bold statements geared directly towards consoles, that they were the superior choice. And where we're at now, those were bold lies. Outright. You just lied to everybody that you told that to. Because
in 2019 they were talking about 120 frames per second.
We'll see that one day,
They advertised, was it 10.7?
God damn it, we're doing COVID. Good Lord. Also, did you see what else happened after the event? We went through fucking COVID. Where were people at?
You can only use. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. You can only use that for so long. And now they've gone into hiding. They've gone into hiding. They've gotten rid of half their employees. I mean, the majority of them thankfully are not unemployed. They're just working for Sony.
Yeah, well, my brother
look
knows a bunch of SGN employees, and they have 4 to 5 job offers waiting for him. So they didn't struggle at all getting new jobs.
You can't. I mean, they for a tech company, everything that they stated should have happened. You're a tech company. The problem is, and this is no different. We're looking at the way that Google is treating and handling Stadia is no different than how they handle the Pixel phones. Under par and underwhelming for the most part. The Pixel line has not been a fantastic phone since the days of the Nexus series. The 5X and this was probably by far one of their best phones. I'm waiting to see the Pixel 6. That will be the make or break for me because the 5 was underwhelming. The 4 was underwhelming. They kind of went to mid range. And if you're claiming Stadia is going to do all of this stuff and take on the top dogs, Nintendo and PlayStation and Microsoft, all of these guys, you should, for a effing technology company, you should be investing a shit ton of money and not backing out just because something's not going right. I don't care about the COVID thing anymore. We need to. Google needs to step up, or either put up or shut up. And they basically already shown us they've shut up.
To put an example is the expansion of xCloud with Xbox. Despite COVID, xCloud's still pushing on. They're pushing hardware. They're pushing forward despite all this. So I think
Amazon was
the
able
difference
to a new world.
All we're seeing is features and updates for Stadia mostly. Yeah, we're getting some of the games. Some of the games.
We got FIFA 22.
You got a PC. You got a PC.
But then you also have to preface with you're not getting NBA 2K22. You're not getting Football Manager 22. You're not getting. It's more
Spirit.
of.
Let me get that nail. Let me get that nail.
We got. Wait a minute. Hold on. We got Spirit.
We got Adam's family over here.
We got over here. Spirit. See, you think I'm hating, but these are wonderful.
They're not. But why aren't they advertising this stuff? Why? The excuse is the same. They're giving the same bullshit excuse every time. Well, we're not going to say anything. We're just going to do these stealth updates. Nobody wants that. You can't do that. You have. I mean, you're going to be the only company that does that because Microsoft is coming out and saying what they're doing. PlayStation's coming out and saying what they're doing. Hell, Amazon is saying what they're doing. Nintendo is denying what they're doing, which that's what Nintendo does. They'll do the update and say, no, we didn't do that. We're not using cloud technology. And Stadia says, well, we can't Google, we can't say anything because everyone will hate us. They're going to be mad at us on social media if we say this or we don't do this.
But I love
you're a fucking multi-billion-dollar company. Act like it.
I like outright games. Mr.
You can that's great. They're casual games. You're not going to take on Microsoft as a casual platform. You may as well. I mean, it may as well be Zynga or one of them.
Why do we got to go up against Xbox anyway? Why
because Google said that. Google stated that's what they were going against. They compared themselves to Xbox and PlayStation.
God, why you bringing back all this stuff, man? That was like 2 years ago, man.
It's more like Stadia will be facing against Xbox. They will be facing against PlayStation, and it's more of kind of it's the turtle in the hare. Like Stadia was so far ahead tech wise as the hare. They had the lead. They still have the tech. Well, they still have the lead tech wise, but you're slowly seeing these other companies.
Why am I freezing? Why am I freezing?
Because you have been, I don't know.
Come on, man. What the hell is going on? Doctor, what are you doing?
It's just going in on its own. You
got that Stadia technology, that outdated stuff.
Hey,
you ain't got that Stadia 2.0.
Talking about outdated. We're ahead. Stadia is way ahead, man. You done lost your mind. I love Stadia, and I have tons of things
for now.
But the criticism that is giving is what Google needs to hear so they can push it farther.
That's why we're doing this.
Hear this. You have certain individuals on Twitter that don't want to hear this. There are people out there that are have their heads so far up Stadia's ass.
Hey.
Sorry.
Hey.
Guess what? The truth hurts. The truth hurts. I understand. It sucks.
Those same people will say. Oh, I just want to say that those same people will say it's Google. They're a $1 billion company. They know what they're doing. You know what? I thought Microsoft knew what they were doing with Xbox One, and look what happened to that. You know, they nearly canceled Xbox because of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Look at Microsoft with Mixer. Like it doesn't always work out.
But they keep trying though. Stadia's not.
Doc,
Google's not trying with
Doctor, how you
Stadia.
doing? Doctor, what's
Google's
going on?
not trying with Stadia. That's the problem. It's like they've just folded up and said, "Oh, fuck it, let's just give up." That's where is this? Who's like? I'm sorry, but I want to see somebody that's actually running Stadia or doing anything with Stadia needs to speak up and say something. Give us something besides, well, we're gonna have a blog here, guys, and here's what we got this week. I don't care for that anymore. I wanted to know something with the future of Stadia. And they don't want to do that. Nobody wants to hear this. I'm sorry. I'm probably done pissed off everybody on the internet. I'm sure Twitter's going to have a field day with me on this one, but I don't really care anymore because
that's
this
a
is
Stadia hater.
bring it. Bring
We
it.
still want Stadia to be out there. We want it
I
to
do.
succeed.
Yeah,
But
competition.
we got concerns.
Hey, competition is why we got stuff like Game Pass, though. Like
Competition's why xCloud got where it is now.
exactly. Like we want some competition. Like I want Stadia to do well because you know what? That's going to bring Xbox to provide better offers for me. I want cheaper games. Like thank God for like this whole PlayStation Xbox thing because you know
Mr. Paul, you shut up.
you know I love cheaper games.
But the PlayStation, Sony versus Microsoft, look what that did. That made each of them better.
Yeah.
That pushed them, each of them, and same with and I'm going to say the same with Nintendo. It pushed Nintendo, all of them, to do better. That's why. Why do you think Xbox is where it is? They saw what Google was doing, but they've continued to progress. They don't
They were
use
getting
COVID as an
stepped on, and
excuse.
they decided to get up and do something about it.
Even Amazon is doing the same thing now, and so is GFN. Everybody's doing this, is moving forward and not using COVID as an excuse, except for Google, because they're too afraid for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe they want to be at dead last place and then move forward again, which seems stupid, but it wouldn't surprise me from Google.
Personally, I think there's a restructuring process. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what Stadia is going to become. If they're going to merge it, what's going to happen? Are they going to turn it into a different service style? But I think something's changing because I don't think they're hitting the numbers that they want. Like it's pretty apparent that it's
money talks.
It's been almost 2 years, and there should be more growth than this. And that's just
The white labeling thing that's been in the air lately is a very good opportunity for them, because that part of the tech streaming somebody else's system, they have it bang on.
Yeah. I think we're going to get an announcement from Stadia sometime early next year about what their plan is forward, because I think in it's either February or March, they have the Google's yearly financials they go over. So usually around that time is when they start doing announcements for their services and stuff like that. And that's where they'll really crunch the numbers, see how Stadia is doing, and provide kind of a roadmap or something. That's why SG&E dropped in February, was because it wasn't working and they scrapped it.
They didn't want it to. They didn't want to wait for it to be successful. That's what the problem is.
Yep. Well, it was too much of an investment, and they didn't want to put the money that Microsoft or Amazon are putting into gaming. But look at Microsoft and Amazon now, though. They're coming back with games.
They advertise constantly. You walk into like a Best Buy, you look at the Chromebooks. You look and Google. You look at Chromebooks. Who makes Chromebooks? Those are all running off of Google Chrome OS. Yet, what do you see advertised on them? GFN.
Yeah.
You don't see Stadia advertised on that stuff. You see GeForce Now.
Yeah, Kubri's Gaming here saying that I've been so frustrated with every couple weeks Amazon advertising Luna on their main page. Then YouTube has been advertising Far Cry 6 like crazy. Why not have a play now button and instant access on Stadia?
Didn't they? 100%. You're exactly right. But they said that was supposed to be a feature, but we probably won't see that feature added for another 2 years.
They're going white label. They're going to collaborate with other companies.
We've already my prediction is, and it's probably going to piss off even more the Stadia fanatics, and I don't really care. Is Stadia is going to disappear eventually? I'm betting you money it'll be gone by a year or two. But completely. It's going to merge into YouTube
actually-
Gaming.
I don't think
I know what's gonna happen because I got sources.
I'm sure. Did you walk over and chat with Google? Oh, Jesus.
Gonna rise from
Tell
the
me,
dead.
I thought you were going to get the 8 ball.
All over the fucking place, no structure at all.
The problem...
I think when I say that they're going to restructure, they're going to do something different. I think they're going to keep the hardware. They're going to obviously use the same infrastructure, but they're probably going to use it for a different method or a different means. And white label is a big thing that DrSpaceman point out. That's one of the ways that they can do. And Google's always been about business to business. Look at their Google Cloud business. That's more business to business structure. You know, they have partnerships with game developers for providing cloud services for them and stuff of that
Activision,
nature.
they had a big contracts with him.
Exactly. And when people were like, oh, Jack Buser's moving up, it's going to be good for Stadia because he's gone to Google Cloud. You also have to...
He has other priorities now.
You have to, you have to understand Google Cloud also has a different structure, has a different purpose than what Stadia actively is. And it's different. I think if Google wants to go the white label thing, that's great. You know, it's more money coming to them because obviously Stadia isn't making the money that they want. Why else would they close their only first-party studios and sell them off?
Before they even did anything. That's the bigger problem.
Yeah. Because if things are doing well, you don't stop doing what you're doing.
Let me get out. I'm gonna come back in. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's my main thing is if you see business, like look at Xbox, they're continuing this Game Pass thing. They're continuously pushing more games. They're not shifting the structure really. It's basically the same that it has been the past like 2 years. The fact that it's staying the same means that they're seeing growth, they're seeing progress, and they're not changing that.
Even PlayStation Now, look at the games they're dropping this year.
Yeah, they shifted it because they wanted to hit more numbers, and it shows. Like it bumped up from like 1.5 million to like 3 million subscribers.
Oh, Ray's there.
Oh, damn! He must have turned on that ray tracing.
Yeah.
He's got that 4K ray tracing going on now. It's fancy. But even I was gonna say, even look at GFN's numbers. They
they doubled in a year.
12 million subscribers, 20 million hours streamed. Come on now.
There was an interview where Phil Spencer was like, I think the journalist was like, okay, I think you guys just hit like 30 million subscribers, but officially Xbox stopped releasing their numbers on their amount of subscribers. And I think the last numbers was something like 18 millions.
Yeah, 18 million, I believe, was in January. I actually don't think it's 30 million. I think they would have announced it if it was 30 million or higher at that point. But the thing is, I think it's a little less. I think you're probably looking at 25, 26 million.
Still doing it really well.
It's still growing.
20 to 30 million. I mean, who gives a crap? I mean, at that, they are growing. That's the key. Is that they are continuing to grow. You know, you've got all these platforms that are growing, and then you've got one that's kind of stale. You know, stalled out, and it's sad that it's stalled out, but it doesn't. Part of me has always kind of not been surprised about that this could happen because of who's running the show. I get that they were separate, but in all reality, just because you separate Stadia from Google doesn't mean that Google can't be like, you know what, let's merge them back in. We've seen Google do that with all of their products before. They take the best of one product, they merge it into another. Then they take that product, merge it into another. I foresee Stadia getting merged into YouTube Gaming at some point. I don't know when, but we see that Google obviously has an eye, is making a bigger push with YouTube Gaming itself by bringing names over and things like that.
Look at Google Play Music. Like Google Play Music wasn't really hitting the numbers that they wanted. What they do, they shifted it to YouTube Music.
I loved Google Play Music. I had so much money doing that.
I mean, and I could see something similar with Stadia, shifting it into the YouTube gaming division, probably offering a subscription similar to Pro, so that you
Or
can
they
get
just
games and play
they
it.
increase your price of YouTube Premium, bump the price up, charge
That
more,
too.
and roll it in
Well,
with everything else you got.
the
All right.
Xbox Game Pass subscriber count was offhandedly mentioned to be about 30 million by Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick
Yeah.
in a recent interview.
It was the Take-Two guy that said it, not
Yeah.
Phil Spencer, and that's
Yeah,
why
Phil's reply, the last public number we've announced is 18 million. And yeah, apparently you see him in the interview, it's just laughing like, okay, we're not allowed to mention that at the moment. We're not making that public. So
I think once it does hit above 30 million, if the problem is, I feel like people keep putting numbers out there. Like Jess Corden said, it was 23 million, and then now he's saying 30. I think people's expectations of it might be a little too high than what it currently is. But I think that's fine. I think it's still growing, and I think it will continue to grow, especially with Halo dropping later this year.
Eddie, no question that there's no
Speaking-
way that Prime offers.
speaking of Prime, I don't know if you still had a tiny bit of time, Ray. There was one thing we forgot to talk about.
I was wondering if I had missed.
Yeah, it's basically there was a hack done on Twitch
Yeah.
a few days ago. Lots of information dropped, a lot of private information, but among those there is something that Amazon is working on, which is a competition to Steam. I think it was codenamed Vapor. So it's direct competition to Steam that they're working on a storefront directly at Amazon. So I remember a lot of talk in different podcasts about Luna Plus. Why is it still Luna Plus a subscription? Because you need to pay it in order to play Luna, whatever. Like if you don't have Luna Plus, you don't have access to the Luna games. I think this is where it's headed at. They're probably going to release their own Steam storefront where you can buy the games. And if you have Amazon Prime, you're not getting Luna Plus. You still have to pay for that. But if you have Amazon Prime and you buy whatever games on that Steam store that belongs to Amazon, you can play those games on your computer without a subscription. But with a subscription, you might actually have access to the Luna rig to buy those games you purchase. And then you get access to the Luna Plus subscription to get a catalog of free games. I think this is where it's going to be headed. So it's a big drop that happened a few days ago.
When if they get that rolled out, I mean that's huge for Luna. That's a big win for Amazon and Luna. And to one thing I would love to see them do is more integration with Luna into Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they mentioned that it was part of the Twitch codes that they saw that storefront. So there's going to be an integration of everything gaming together. So within the same storefront, you'll have Twitch, you'll have your games that you can play on PC, and you'll probably have Amazon Luna, which if you buy the games, you can play probably any games, but then the subscription will be opt-in by the devs.
One thing I really do like about Luna, if you go to a game on Luna, it actually has like a bunch of Twitch streamers down below that are playing that game.
I do like that. I wish
I wish Stadia had something similar where it had like YouTube videos of
where it would promote, but that would require somebody to actually promote the Stadia streamers besides the end of the community. It would actually take a company to do something like that. Unfortunately, they don't want to do that.
Okay.
So no, I think it's a bit of interesting stuff that was in that leak. Amazon, once they finish up preparing Luna and they release it around the world, if they do everything properly, like they got their studios, they got everything, Amazon is huge. They're going to be competition to Xbox.
Could you see that storefront similar to the way Game Pass is going to be set up with like the Xbox storefront? with with not Game Pass, but with xCloud. The way that with the new storefront where you're going to be able to eventually buy games, but you can either play it in the cloud or install it.
That's a thing.
I could see Amazon doing the same. Play it via Luna or install it on your system.
Because Amazon's going to try to make something to please their top streamers on Twitch, who are all PC gamers.
Yep.
And they're going to try to get the public to get in with the Luna for a more affordable gaming rig. Plus, all those PC gamers who have RTX 3080s and something, you get a Luna to continue your game on the go, similar to what you've got with Xbox.
Yeah.
So you have the option of locally install or cloud gaming. That's really interesting.
So
that is something that's hurting Stadia.
Do we see Amazon more eventually transitioning their competition more with, say, Microsoft than anybody else? When at the time that if they get that storefront rolled out, I could see them saying, "Hey, Microsoft is our competition now."
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Luna Plus will definitely try to combat Game Pass in a way similar with the channel. I think they want to go focus style. So if there's a specific type of game that you want, like that family channel, I think is huge.
I want to know about the retro channel, to be honest.
I think for like people who have kids, I think a family channel is perfect. You go, hey, I can get this channel just for my kid, and they can just play these kids games. And hey, I've got this couch co-op feature that, hey, let's say I'm on a business trip and I want to play games with them. I just hook up to the hotel Wi-Fi and send them the code and play them.
Enable the webcam into couch mode.
Oh, that would be.
Oh wow. That would be kind of cool.
Amazing.
Well, I mean,
or even almost like a Stream Connect, where instead of like showing the other player's screen, it's just your camera.
Yeah, but you have the split screen plus the players.
GFN kind of has. I mean, you can get a webcam enabled when you're streaming off of like a Shield TV Pro. You just have to hook your webcam into the USB port. And I mean, right now, I only know that you can stream games, anything on that directly to Twitch. But if they add other things to it, eventually, at some point, or if there is a way to stream to like YouTube or something else, that's great. But even GFN, when you look at the way that their storefront, their UI is set up, they've got categories set up too. You've got EA, you've got GFN Thursday, you've got a family games, especially when you really start looking at it. They're all starting to get geared towards certain groups from now. Even Stadia. I applaud Stadia for finally getting more family-oriented games. That was smart. I wish they would advertise it more. They would step it up with that kind of stuff. If you're going to keep bringing these family games, you need to do a better job at advertising those games.
Mm-hmm. I think Ray had to go, and we've covered a lot of subjects.
Ray he wants to get out of here before he gets Stadians kill him.
Sorry about that, Ray.
I apologize.
No, that's all good.
That's my bad. Damn, where was JD?
Anyway, so anything else you guys wanted to talk about before we wrap this up?
I think we're good.
So we're going to go around. Ray, where can we find you?
Tomorrow I'll be streaming Far Cry 6.
Woo! What platform?
Awesome.
Stadia. not GFN.
What about you, Vet?
I've got 2 first looks that I'll be doing tomorrow. I don't want to. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to name the games yet because I think I want to leave it more for a surprise. Saturday won't be doing anything. I'm just going to hang out with my kid. Sunday I may end up doing a simulator stream, so I will probably at some point in the afternoon do PC building simulators. So I'm sure everyone's going to want to see that one.
I'll try to catch that if I can, because it's going to be amazing.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong with me building PCs?
What about you, Maker Khaos? Go ahead and make your pitch. Advertise yourself.
You can catch me at Cloudy Cloudy with Games on YouTube. There's the website cloudy.games. I do you can check out some of the reviews I've done. And I think our Twitch account is called It's Us Cloudy. I might be streaming some Alien Isolation on Luna this Saturday. I'm still planning it, so check out our Twitter for Cloudy with Games for that.
If you want some guests, DrSpaceman and I will volunteer. I don't think Ray will anymore.
No, first of all, Mr. Maker of Khaos, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
You're awesome.
It was fun.
You come in other people's streams. You've been in my streams. I think you're great. And I appreciate you being on the show.
I think y'all are all a good group of content creators, and I enjoy your content.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So yeah, 100 times thank you. As for myself, New World has been keeping me busy, but also Far Cry 6 is pretty nice. Today I gave Facebook gaming another try. I might actually stream a few more times on that this week to see how it goes. So be sure to catch me on there. So we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you again, Maker of Khaos. Probably not the last time, depending on how you like your experience. We might invite you again some other time. And
maybe. So
this is CloudNationTV. Thank you very much, everyone in the chat, for your being there, for your support, for participating, adding to the conversation. AVET PC Game Sim Epic version is
yes, I know. I have it on Steam. I have it on Steam.
So awesome. So thank you very much, everyone. What?
Yeah, damn it, Doc. You had to remind me that. I guess I will be streaming.
Charity. Gotta do that charity work.
That's right.
Stadia stream too.
Oh no.
Yeah, this would be epic.
That's what you get.
You know what though? I want to see how many downvotes I'm gonna get for a charity stream.
DrSpaceman, put this video to private.
Yeah. Why did you show up? Man, I don't know. I charged for it. Nobody wanted to pay.
Awesome. So everyone, you can say goodbye.
See you guys.
See you.